Hello, October. When some people think of the first weekend in October, maybe they think of the State Fair of Texas. Maybe they think about OU, Texas. But in McKinney, Texas, they think about the Crosstown Showdown. Tonight it is the McKinney North Bulldogs and the McKinney High Lions. Good evening, everyone. Monty Walker along with Jay Lindley, the statistician, Jonathan Leidy, our sideline extraordinaire, Rob Johnson, our spotter, and yes, Lynn Burkhead. Lynn Burkhead tonight with us as our color analyst. Brandon Helms couldn't make it, and I spent 10 years with Lynn from 1994 through 2003 doing Sherman and Denison games, and it is such a thrill for me to have you back in the booth and enjoy our 3 hours together here tonight.
Absolutely, Monty. You and I go a long way back, but you'd think you would learn something in over 10 years of broadcasting and 15 of knowing each other. On this side of the river, it's Texas OU.
Well, we disagree on that issue, but
hook 'em horns.
Nonetheless.
Every time I've been down here covering Sherman, as you and I did for a number of years, and then Denison, as we did for several years, usually see a big shootout on this turf. Now, I know that McKinney North, the big favorite tonight. Something tells me, however, you can throw the records out the door. This game is going to be fun, and I bet the scoreboard is going to be lit up before we're done.
Right now, it's not really like the initial Crosstown Showdown, because at this time, 4 years ago, actually 3 years ago, 4 seasons ago, the place was already full. It was packed. There were 8,000 to 10,000 people here that night, all along the fences. Right now, it's not that way. People have not made their way into the game or into the stadium just yet. Now, however, there are a lot of things going on outside the stadium. There are tailgate parties. Chick-fil-A is out there. Suzuki of McKinney's out there. I mean, there's lots of things going on here at Ron Post Stadium, so people haven't made their way in yet. But once they get in, they're in for a treat tonight.
Yeah, you know that I'm on a restricted diet, and I want to tell you, it was pretty difficult walking past all of those tailgate parties, watching the barbecue and the smoked sausage and all of that stuff. That the doctor says, no, I don't need to have that. So, that was pretty difficult. But it's going to be entertaining anytime you get two teams that are bitter rivals. And, I know McKinney North, McKinney High School have only been playing. This is their 4th meeting. This is going to be a bitter rivalry down through the years.
For a long time.
For a long time to come, and it's already that way. And, the Lions, they've taken it on the chin a little bit this year. 500 record coming in, 2-2 overall. But even though they're young, they want to win this game. This game would be a statement game for the young Lions. And, the Bulldogs, after their surprising result against Sherman in the preseason scrimmage, have really rebounded in a big way. So the McKinney North coaches or McKinney coaches want to know what happened at Sherman. What did Sherman do? Is there anything we can exploit that the Bearcats did against the Bulldogs?
Well, they don't have Wayman James.
But he has not been all that effective in the last couple of weeks, as the Bearcats have been a little banged up to the north. But this is going to be a very entertaining game, and I'm sure before all is said and done, the stands are going to be full.
Well, one thing that is kind of strange about this game, a weird stat. The home team has never won in this series and in the Boyd series. Any inter-school rivalry here with McKinney North versus McKinney, or McKinney North versus Boyd, or McKinney versus Boyd, the home team has never won. It's always been the opposing team. And I guess, I talked to Coach Bobby Reyes a little bit about that, and he was like, oh, really? Well, I hope we can keep that going. That's obviously is in his favor, as McKinney, they are the visitor tonight. McKinney North will be the home team. We'll set up the story for you in just a moment. When we come back, we have the Senior Spotlight coming up and the Coaches Show. So sit back, relax, don't go anywhere on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Ron Post Stadium. Monty Walker along with Lynn Burkhead and Jay Lindley and John Leidy. We have an interesting look for the McKinney North Bulldogs, something we haven't seen in a while, and that's the dark blue jerseys, and that's not abnormal, but the orange pants are a little abnormal. We haven't seen that a lot lately, in the past couple of years anyway. Normally they've been wearing those blue pants. Maybe Jay Lindley can straighten some of this out for us. Jay, tell us why the orange pants. Have you had a chance to talk to Coach Sean Pratt and figure out why they're wearing those?
First off, my name is John Leidy.
Oh, no.
What
did I call him?
The Leadership Council, which is basically the captains for the football team. They choose each week what color pants they want to wear, whether they want to wear the white with the blue and orange stripe down the side, the orange with the white and blue stripe, or the blues with the white and orange stripe on the side. But that's how they choose for each week, and it's one of the privileges of being on the Leadership Council. Back up to y'all.
All right, thanks a lot, John Leidy. Sorry about that. You know, I've had trouble with that all year, Jay Lindley.
Hey, I kept my mouth shut. I knew who you were talking to.
Well, as John mentioned, they are coming out in their orange pants, kind of Syracuse looking, or electric orange pants with the blue and white stripe down the side. Orange helmets for McKinney North, blue, dark blue Navy uniforms with white numbers outlined in orange. And the McKinney Lions will come out in their white pants. This is a new look for them. White pants, white shirts with blue numerals outlined in gold with obviously the gold helmets that have returned to McKinney since last year. And the captains for McKinney North are making their way out. Chris Williams, go ahead.
Not to mention the gold socks.
And the gold socks. Yeah, this is an old look for McKinney, one that we haven't seen,
throwback look
since the mid-'90s or something like that. Well, Ron Poe left in 2000, so that was really the last time gold was prominent here. But the gold has returned, and hopefully the McKinney fans are hoping the winning does too. Captains are making their way out on the field, as we mentioned. Houston Beasley, Taylor Douthit, and Chris Williams and David Douglas. Now, interesting note for David Douglas, he is the career-leading receiver in this football game, the Crosstown Showdown. Overall, 9 catches for 116 yards and 1 touchdown in his 2 games so far in the Crosstown Showdown. The leading rusher, well, Chase Barrett, 44 carries, 347 yards, and 4 touchdowns in this game. The single game rushing leader was Chris Wimbish back in 2004 when he had 30 carries, 197 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Career passer, well, you guessed it, Eric Herbel, 23 out of 34, 1 interception, 308 yards, which is 68% passing for Eric Herbel, which pretty much is what he did for his career anyway. And the single game passing leader last year, Eric Herbel, 19 out of 22, 86% for Eric Herbel last year in this game, and 308 yards and 2 touchdowns. There are your leaders for the Crosstown Showdown. In the first 3 meetings, we're prepared for our 4th battle tonight as the McKinney Lions make their way, the captains make their way across the field finally. And Andy Martinek is one. Try to find out the others. I have to get Matt Lipka is right in the middle. Daniel Brash is also out there, along with Tyler Peterson. And I believe it is Michael Riancho out there as well. And the captains are making their way out on the field, and so is John Leidy. And John will have the coin toss right now with the official.
Chris Williams, David Douglas, Houston Beasley, and Taylor Douthit.
Captains, my name is Bobby Dixon. I'll be your referee tonight. This is Bruce Bellows. Bruce will be the umpire. You guys have been elected as leaders of your respective teams for this game tonight, and we want to look for your help on helping us to run a smooth, well-played football game, okay? All right, tonight, McKinney, you're the visiting team. It's your choice on the coin toss, so I want to have you call it before I flip it. What is your choice?
Tails.
What did you say?
Heads.
Tails.
Oh,
You said tails. Heads it is.
We defer to the second half.
You want to defer? Okay, excuse me.
Okay, and you heard it right there. It was McKinney North that won the toss. North won the toss, and it was Michael Scott who made the call that they will defer to the second half. So McKinney will have the ball first here in the first quarter, and they didn't. Now they're making their way. Now McKinney will put their backs to the north end zone, so they'll be They will be moving from right to left starting this football game. McKinney North will be kicking off with their backs to the south end zone.
Should be a great contest tonight, Monty. And, you know, the one thing that I guess is a little surprising to me, the stands really aren't that full right now. You're doing such a great job, I guess, on the air here at 97.5 that they're just kicked back in the easy chair. Either that or the tailgating is going on in a serious way out in the parking lot.
You can't say that it'd be going on this late. Apparently the McKinney fans didn't get the message that, hey, this is a pretty big deal around here, because the first 3 years, this has been just pandemonium at this place. And, you know, obviously we can't compare it to the first one because the first one's always the first one. But, you know, this doesn't compare.
Well, you got to wonder, about last week, just how much wind was taken out of the sails with the loss to McKinney Boyd, especially when you take a look at the offensive production by the McKinney Lions in the second half. They were 0 for 4 on third down conversions in the second half last week. They only had the football for 6 minutes and 55 seconds the entire second half. Boyd dominated the game. It showed on the football field for the Lions, and it looks here tonight it's showing a little bit in the stands.
Well, it is showing a little bit in the stands, but, Bobby Rays is no stranger to turning programs around. He turned the Richardson-Pierce Mustangs around in a big way, had to change the culture there at Richardson-Pierce, and I'm quite certain that his veteran leadership, he got that locker room settled this week. They may have lost to Boyd. They may have been dominated by Boyd in the second half, but something tells me that the Lions had a good week in practice. Have a lot of respect for Bobby Rays and what he did at Richardson-Pierce, and I'm quite certain he's going to work the magic here at McKinney High School as well.
On the way up here, me and Jay had a little visit about what we might see from McKinney North tonight, and the way Darren Alves ran the offense against McKinney High last week and amounted however many yards he did, which he basically controlled the entire second half. I thought maybe we might see a little bit of Chris Williams at quarterback tonight, trying to do some of the same things that Darren Alves did a week ago, trying to control the ball on the ground. That's what Chris Williams does. When he's a quarterback, he's not going to throw the ball much.
Well, Williams last week, he was basically the Bulldogs player of the week. 7 carries, 88 yards, had one pass for 11 yards. But other than that, Williams just an all-around athlete. And, of course, you see a lot of college teams doing this like Arkansas does with Darren McFadden. You'll see him lined up in the shotgun sometimes, maybe take a quarterback draw.
Well, McKinney North 4-0 on the season, 1-0 in district. McKinney 2-2 overall and 0-1 in district. McKinney's back is to the wall more so than North, and I think we'll see a big fight from the Gold Helmets tonight. We're going to take a quick timeout during the national anthem. Be back in a moment with more Crosstown Showdown action on 97.5 KLAK. Well, it is just about football time in Texas as McKinney North is huddling up their special teams unit right at the 50-yard line on their side. Now McKinney makes their way out. This is the Crosstown Showdown, and we're just about underway. Going back for McKinney, which will be moving from right to left, will be Matt Litka, Reggie Robinson, and Ty Gerald, the 3 back deep. Stephen Meyer will boot this one away from McKinney North at the 40-yard line. He's talking to the official right now. The official is telling him the rules about going across that 40-yard mark on the Quail onside, because that happens. They do the Quail onside every time. As Jared Foyt steps into the booth, our old spotter from last year and a former McKinney Lion offensive lineman.
Wonder whose side he's on tonight.
Yeah. We don't want him to give a prediction here, so we know which way it'll go. Here's the fake Quail onside by McKinney North, and Stephen Meyer will take 9 steps back and 3 steps to his left, and he'll run to the football now. The Crosstown Showdown 2007 is underway. The kick sails into the end zone 5 yards deep. Reggie Robinson takes 2 yards back and makes the catch and takes a knee in the end zone. And McKinney will start out from their own 20-yard line, moving right to left to open this football game.
The one thing we're going to see right off the bat, Monty, is we're going to see one of the bright prospects here in Collin County in Zach Lee. And, of course, everyone knows Team USA, the great baseball player, but he is a dynamite quarterback, and the stats, even though the win column may not back that up, his stats do. 48 of 78, 1 interception, 821 yards, 7 TDs. I'm betting that he adds to those numbers in a big way tonight.
He's in shotgun, and he's going to hand it off on first down. And that's Anthony Butler, who makes his way for 1, maybe 2 yards, and is pushed back by the DPD. And on the tackle, Terrence Hicks for McKinney North. You're talking about Zach Lee, the quarterback. He loves to go to his wide receiver, Matt Lipka. Lipka comes in with 21 catches, 462 yards, and 5 touchdowns. So he's basically caught half of Lee's passes. And he will be split out wide right on 2nd down and 8. Just underway. 11:26 and rolling here in the first. McKinney versus McKinney North. And the McKinney Lions have the ball. Lee looks right. Whistles will blow before this one can get underway. And this is normally against the offense, and it will probably be pushed back 5 yards.
You know, one more thing on Lee, the amazing thing, his completion percentage as a sophomore, completing over 60% of his passes. He's one of the most efficient quarterbacks in North Texas and the most efficient quarterback here in District 9 4A.
What about the 2 sophomore quarterbacks for McKinney Boyd and McKinney High, respectively, leading area in rushing and passing? It's quite a combo.
And you can see those showdowns coming in a couple of years. And, you know, Lee continuing the great tradition that McKinney High Schools had with outstanding offensive players. You had Greg Ziegler back in the 80s. McKinney very successful under him. You had Randy Simmons back in the 80s. And then, of course, you had Matt Nockey, who lit this field up many, many times.
Lots of points when old Max Nockey threw up there. Here is 2nd down and 13 after the penalty for McKinney. Moving right to left, shotgun. Lee looks across the middle, fires, and it's in and out of the hands of Dario Jackson. It's dropped at the 24-yard line. Would have been a nice gain, not enough for the first, but the drop brings up 3rd and 13 with 10:56 left to go in the first. No score.
Yeah, it would have been a nice gain. Chris Williams had backed off in soft zone coverage, and finding the seam was Dario Jackson, and he was right where he wanted to be. And, you know, kind of like coaches say, the ball hit him in the worst place possible, hit him right between the numbers. You've really got to reach out and catch those balls when they come in right there in between the numbers, because if you don't, it's going to hit your shoulder pads, bounce away as it did that time.
3rd and 13 for McKinney High at their own 17-yard line. Shotgun, handoff, Butler running right tackle outside, trying to find the corner, can't do it. Knocked down at the 21-yard line. It'll be 4th down and punting time. Desmond Ehrlich will get credit for the tackle, but C.J. Gonzalez is going to have to come on and punt and boot this one out from their own 21-yard line.
You know, outstanding play that time with the DPD. Did exactly what the coaches teach them to do, string it out to the sidelines. Offensive linemen from McKinney not able to hold their blocks very long, and it results in a punt for the Lions, and the Dogs are going to have great field position.
Marquise Millard-Sims stands exactly at the 50-yard line, and McKinney North will be going left to right after the punt. C.J. Gonzalez gets the punt. Lots of pressure. It's a high, wobbly kick, and Marquise Millard-Sims is going to take it at the 49-yard line. Makes one move and brought down immediately at the 46-yard line in McKinney territory. So like you said, Lynn, great field position for McKinney North starting out here, as their offensive unit will come out on the field. Let's give you the starting offense for McKinney North. Up front, Houston Beasley, Trent Bladel, Taylor Douthit, Colton Duncan, and Taylor Amadin up front. The tight end slash slot back will be Aaron Matthews. Split out wide left, the all-world going to Arizona wide receiver David Douglas. And he'll be flanked by Ty Crump. And split out wide right will be Chris Allen. Quarterback for McKinney North starting out will be Chris Williams, along with Fruit Cole in the backfield. Williams, the running quarterback. Stanko, the passing quarterback, but it'll be Williams in here. Sends a man in motion, and Williams is going to hand off to Fruit Cole, who bursts his way for about 3 or 4 yards up to the 42-yard line. And Ryan Hughes makes the stop for McKinney. Fruit Cole on first down. Fruit's the kind of guy who looks like Robert Newhouse. A real big kid, about 5'8", 5'9", 205. And big legs with a small waist. It looks a lot like Robert Newhouse. 2nd down and 6 for McKinney North. Shotgun, handoff, Fruit. No, Chris Williams is going to keep it. Not a good decision there, as he's going to lose a couple of yards back to the 44-yard line, and Cameron Peterson gets the credit for the tackle there.
Yeah, a great push by the McKinney offensive line. And, you know, the first play, the Lions, you already see their concern. They want to keep the Bulldogs corralled in the passing game. They came out in a covered 4. They've run that on all 3 plays now. But First play, not a good push. That play right up the field on the snap.
3rd down and 7 for McKinney North. Williams in the shotgun, gets it, wants to throw, has Douglas, a nice catch and a better move out to the 30 and out of bounds at the 28-yard line. I'll actually mark him at the 30, but David Douglas gets his first catch of the night. It'll be the safety, outside linebacker Dominic Gardner making the stop.
And Gardner had a chance to make a play further upfield and stop the receiver short, but as you said, nice throw, better catch. It was a great move, first down for the Dogs.
David Douglas, not real shifty, but he is kind of slinky.
It's a good
out
hip
there.
move.
Yeah, it's exactly right. A good hip move. 8:59 left to go. No score yet. Matthews goes in motion for McKinney North. Williams runs the option. He's going to keep it. Crosses the 30 down near the 25-yard line. A nice run on first down for McKinney North as Jordan Kilwine makes a stop for McKinney High. That'll bring up a 2nd down and just about 6. We'll give him credit for 4 yards on first down. But McKinney North making a nice push here early on. And their offensive line of Taylor Douthit and company winning the line of scrimmage right now early on. Shotgun, handoff, Fruit Cole. Williams keeps it actually, and he's going to gain a couple of yards to bring up another 3rd and short. Cameron Peterson makes the stop for McKinney.
Well, the Dogs got away with one right there. It looked like the big guy up front, the right guard, Colton Duncan, hooked his man coming through, and the official was looking at the ball carrier at the quarterback, Stanko, missed the hook. Could have been a costly holding penalty for the Dogs.
Williams in the gun again. Will move Fruit Cole to his left. He's going to fake the hand. Where do you go? Why not Douglas? He makes the catch, and he has the first down at the 17-yard line. And why not go to David Douglas just any time? Dominic Gardner makes a stop on Douglas, and that's twice he's had to make the tackle on Douglas. I think Dominic Gardner is going to make a lot of tackles tonight just simply because David Douglas is going to have the ball a lot tonight.
Well, he made the cut back inside right into Douglas' arms. And we got a stoppage in play. The Dogs want to talk about it.
Timeout has been called. We'll take one, too. 7:45 left to go in the first quarter. Now, wait.
Nope.
Now they say that they were going to have a timeout for a moment.
It's like an injury timeout on the far side.
Oh, I see.
I believe that's DeJuan Sweeney on the far sideline.
Well, we checked that. That may be Dominic Gardner. And I haven't been able to see yet. I think that is Gardner.
It is. Dominique Gardner, the sophomore. You're correct.
David Douglas makes another man go down. He was the young man who made the stop on David Douglas on that play. And hopefully that's not a serious injury. He is helped off the field, and here we are at 1st and 10 from McKinney North. Williams still in the game. He's going to hand off to Fruit Cole, who will gain a couple of yards down to the 15-yard line. Call it a 3-yard gain on first down to bring up 2nd down and 7 as Jordan Kilwine makes another tackle for McKinney High.
Well, you know, the Dogs come into this game tonight, Monty, averaging 194 through the air, 132 on the ground. Nice mixture of run-pass, and you already see in the first quarter offensive coordinator Joe Castillo and head coach Sean Pratt, a nice job of mixing it up. They're getting success to the ground, they're getting success to the air, and they're closing in on the goal line in the red zone. 2
receivers to the left. Matthews goes in motion for McKinney North. And the shotgun, faking the hand. Chris Williams keeps it. He's got the 10-yard line, and he's going to go down right there, maybe about the 9. So it'll bring up 3rd down and short. Josh Erickson makes a stop. You brought up Sean Pratt, the head coach of McKinney North. Last week's victory over the Colony put McKinney North over the 500 mark for the first time since they were 1-0 in their very first game. A long battle, starting a new program, but already back over the 500 mark. That's very impressive for a new program. 3rd down and short. This is going to be shotgun. Williams is going to keep it up the middle. He is squirts through, and he's into the end zone. It's touchdown time in Texas. And McKinney North strikes first blood in this crosstown showdown 2007.
That was just poor form tackling by the line defense. They weren't going to prevent Stanko from getting the first down, but they had him corralled back around the 6-yard line. He just kept the legs pumping, churning forward. There was a sudden seam of daylight, and he squirted through there, as you said, and went untouched after that. And again, just a poor job of tackling. That one may come back to haunt the Lions.
Stephen Meyer will come on for the extra point. He is 18 out of 19 on extra points this year. And he'll send this one up, and it's true. So 7-0, McKinney North on top with 6:11 left to go in the first. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Well, McKinney North will fake the onside, and they'll back up to the 30 with a 10-yard march to kick this one off. It's 7-0, North on top as they just punch it in. We'll let Jay give you the drive recap right after this. Matt Lipka's going to take the kickoff at the 4-yard line. It comes up the middle of the field, is swarmed and tackled at the 15-yard line, so only a 9-yard gain for McKinney on the return. Jay, how about an American Bank of Texas scoring drive recap?
9 plays, 46 yards, capped off by a 9-yard Chris Williams run. In the process, the Bulldogs running 3 minutes and 54 seconds off the clock. And get this, they were 3 of 3 on third down conversions in that drive. Of course, almost looks as though that McKinney line defense still suffering a little sting from last week, the way the Bulldogs moved the ball.
We failed to give you the starting lineup, offensive lineup for McKinney early on. We'll do that right now. Chris Philby and Tyler Peterson, Nate Leonard, Michael Choate, and Michael Chavarino up front. Zach Lee at quarterback, Anthony Butler, the tailback, Lipka and Dario Jackson, the wideouts, and Jared Farley in the slot. Here's a handoff to Anthony Butler up the middle. Had a nice seam for a moment, but didn't hit it. He missed the hole, and he'll only gain 1 after Colton Floyd makes the stop for McKinney North.
Spencer Rogers got in on a violent part of that collision. Actually lost his helmet as it came popping off. You know, Jay was mentioning 3 out of 3 on third down conversions. The longest was 5 yards. That means good production on first down and second down. Anytime you can be in third and short, you got to like what you're doing.
David Douglas, 2 of them. And, you know, that's when you got a guy like Douglas, all you got to do is just kind of throw it to him. It's kind of like the kid from Boyd, Fuller. There's a flag on the play before this one can get underway. It'll be once again another penalty on McKinney.
Yeah, Anthony Butler went in motion before the ball was snapped to Zach Lee, and the official was like, well, you're not allowed to do that, young man.
So instead of 2nd and 9, it'll be 2nd and 14 with 5:21 left to go in the first quarter. McKinney North up on top, 7-0 after a touchdown run by Chris Williams. How long was the touchdown run?
A 9-yard touchdown
9 yards. This will be Lee in shotgun formation with 3 receivers to the near side. Butler in the backfield. Fakes the hand to him. Looking left. Look for Lipka. And its ball falls incomplete. Marquise Millard-Sims in coverage. And that, you know, Millard-Sims really lit up Lipka. But that, I was thinking maybe that was a little bit early.
Well, I tell you what, it was pretty close. But the thing I was looking at was Lipka. One more step and he goes to the house if he makes that catch. The Dogs came in with heavy pressure, and the middle of the field wide open on the post route right there.
2 receivers to either side this time, as Lipka will come near side. Again, McKinney moving right to left here in the first quarter. Lee in shotgun as always, drops back 3 steps. Look for Lipka in the screen pass, has it. He makes his way out to about the 19-yard line before he's brought down, but still not enough for the first down. It'll be 4th and a truckload. Josh Matthews makes the stop for McKinney North, and once again, C.J. Gonzalez is going to have to come out and punt this one away. And once again, McKinney North is going to have pretty good field position.
Here's the problem that Lions are facing right now. If you want to win football games, even in this spread era, you've got to be able to run the football. The Lions have been unable to do that right now. And because of that, the only thing they really are going to have going right now is to stretch the field vertically. They haven't been able to do that yet.
Same scenario. Marquise Millard-Sims will stand at the 50-yard line. C.J. Gonzalez will stand at his 5 and get this one away. Not a lot of pressure this time. Millard-Sims comes up to the 45, makes the catch, running right, cuts it up to the middle, and knocked backwards at the 38-yard line. And McKinney North will set up shop, moving left to right at the McKinney 38-yard line with 4:11 left to go in the first. And the Bulldogs of McKinney North up 7-0.
Jacob Smith turned around, looked at one of the officials, and said, wait a minute, I thought he signaled the fair catch. I got to be honest, guys, I thought he did make a hand motion that could be interpreted as a fair catch signal. The official standing right there, however, said no, but Jacob Smith saw the same thing we did. If I had been making the call, I would have thrown the flag right there.
As I was about to say, of course, and that would have been a huge penalty. Would have set the Bulldogs back a little bit. Instead, now they're setting at the 38.
2 receivers to the left side Well, 3 if you include the tight end stand-up slot. Now he'll go in motion to the right, and that's Matthews. Chris Williams still into the game at quarterback. He's going to hand to Fruit Cole up the middle, who bursts through for a nice run down to the 24-yard line, and Fruit Cole makes his presence known and meets the strong safety Daniel Brash and goes down after a first down run to the 23-yard line.
Yeah, Fruit Cole making fruit salad of a couple of linebackers as he went rumbling ahead. And we talked about it just a moment ago. You got to be able to win the line of scrimmage, and the offensive line for the Dogs doing that. The running game is going places for the Dogs.
Matthews goes in motion from right to left as Williams wants the snap, gets it, handoff Fruit Cole again, dancing his way through the line of scrimmage. And he's going to gain a few yards, maybe about 4.5 to 5, down to the 19-yard line. It'll set up second down and 5. Matt Opazinski makes the stop for McKinney.
Cole, 4 carries for 25 yards here on the first 2 drives.
You know, he's pretty stocky, 5'9", 207, the senior running back for the Dogs is, but he showed the nice footwork, the dancing with the stars kind of footwork in there as he went right, came back to the middle, and then found his way left before he was brought down.
Maybe he could join Mark Cuban out there.
I think he's better than Cuban.
There's Williams on the rollout, rolling left. He wants to throw it, and he throws it to Douglas. And if it's caught, it'll be a first down. No indication, and now they say yes, it is caught. And the ball will be spotted at the 11-yard line. So now 3 catches, all for first downs for David Douglas as Andy Martinek makes the stop for McKinney.
We'll give Douglas the credit on that one, Monty, because Stanko, he was throwing across the body on the run, going against the grain, and the ball floated a little bit, sailed a little bit wide to the sidelines, and Douglas reacted to the ball, made a nice grab.
Douglas has caught at least 1 touchdown in 6 straight games for McKinney North, and 13 out of 15. Oh, here's a bad exchange between Williams and Fruit Cole. It was a shotgun, and Fruit Cole was standing next to him, tried to hand the ball off. Something happened. The ball ended up on the turf. Michael Riancho ends up making the stop, but Fruit Cole was able to get back on the football.
Yeah, and I'm very impressed with the effort he just gave right there. You see the senior leadership from Fruit Cole, because instead of waiting for contact or instead of trying to run and make an extra yard or 2, he literally leapt from the ground and surged forward a couple of yards.
Here's a fade route in the end zone for David Douglas, and it is caught. It is touchdown time in Texas over the head of Andy Martinek. It is 13-0 McKinney North, awaiting the PAT.
Well, Jay, you and I have agreed before, and I don't know if we will on this one, but I actually thought Douglas that time might have been guilty of pushing off, a little a la Michael Irvin back in Super Bowl 30.
It did look like he threw the hook there as he leaned in to make that catch, but nonetheless, he made a great effort to make that catch. That ball was a little bit out in front of him.
Well, he made the adjustment as he did on the previous throw. This time the ball inside toward the post, and he had to make the quick adjustment and was able to do so.
But he may have gotten away with something there.
Chris Williams' first touchdown pass of the year, and Stephen Meyer's extra point is true. It is 14-0 McKinney North with 2:10 left to go in the first. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Well, as the kickoff will sail out of bounds by Stephen Meyer, Jay, why don't you go ahead and give us an American Bank of Texas scoring drive recap.
5 plays, 38 yards, capped off by a 12-yard completion from Williams to Douglas. And, of course, Douglas continues that touchdown reception streak, running 2 minutes and 1 second off the clock. The point after good, and it's 14-0 McKinney North over McKinney High.
You mentioned the touchdown streak. It now goes to 7 games for David Douglas as he catches at least 1 touchdown in the past 7 games, and that makes 14 out of 16 that he's caught a touchdown. That's remarkable. It's one thing for a rushing touchdown. It's another thing for a receiving touchdown. Remarkable stat. Here's Zach Lee handing off to Robinson up the middle, and for the first time, McKinney shows a little punch on the run game as Robinson was shot out of a cannon up the middle in a gain of about 4.5 yards. Marquise Millard-Sims makes the stop for McKinney North. It'll be second down and 5.
Well, Monty, you know it's a coach's cliche, but field position is a key in any football game you're in, especially a highly charged emotional game like this. And right now the Lions losing that battle. They need to get that turned around.
Well, a Colt 45 wraps up Reggie Robinson that time. And wow, that was pretty remarkable by Colton Floyd what he did there. no gain. It'll be 3rd down and 5.
Coming up right here, of course, 3rd down. Going back to last week, the McKinney Lions, 1 of 9 on 3rd down conversions. They are 0 of their last 6, 0 for 2 here tonight.
3rd down and 5 with 1:13 and rolling in the first. McKinney trailing 14-0 to their arch rival, McKinney North. Shotgun for Lee. Rolls the option to the left. He's going to keep it. Trying to run for the first, and he can't do it. He's knocked down by Spencer Rogers and also Sam Kamani. So once again, 4th down time. This time they have a little bit of room. It's 4th down and 3, but they're still at their own end of the field at the 37-yard line. And C.J. Gonzalez will not come into the game. And this is what we saw last week. Remember, they got in this formation, looked like they're going to quick kick it away, and they threw the fade route from Lee to Lipka. So 4th and 3, watch out for the fade route. 11 seconds on the play clock. There's 28 seconds on the game clock in the first quarter. Lee in shotgun. He's going to get it, and he will kick this one away. It's a high kick. He should have tried the pooch kick, or should have tried the fade route, because it's going to bounce back and be a terrible kick for McKinney as it takes a McKinney North bounce all the way back to the 44-yard line, still in McKinney territory.
Not sure what Bobby Race was thinking right there, because the Lions right now are losing the battle of field position in a big way, and they finally had a chance to pin the Dogs back deep in their territory, and they went with the quick kick, as you mentioned, and it just simply wasn't a successful quick kick at all. And now they're losing the game of field position once again.
Basically an 8-yard punt.
Well, that's one of those where you wish you had it back. You'd try to throw that fade route. If you knew you were going to get an 8-yard punt, you'd definitely go for it. But they cannot do that. 13 seconds left on the first quarter clock. Here's a handoff. That's Damon Pitts into the game for the first time. And he's going to gain a few yards, probably 6, down to the 39-yard line. And that's going to be the end of the first quarter of the 2007 Crosstown Showdown. It's all McKinney North so far. 14-0 they lead. Back in a moment. 97.5 KLAK. Well, we thought we'd have a little fun up here with Lynn Burkhead, Mr. Longhorn. Here's a handoff up the middle. That's Damon Pitts spinning out of a tackle down to the 25, down inside the 20 to the 16-yard line. A nice run by Damon Pitts. Finally stopped by Josh Erickson, but Damon Pitts was shot out of a cannon on the first play of the second quarter. Wow.
Well, we talked about it all night long so far, the line of scrimmage and field position, and right now the Dogs are absolutely controlling both.
7 first downs already for the McKinney North Bulldogs.
Yeah, we'll tell a story about the whole Longhorn Sooner thing coming up later on, maybe at halftime. But
bring it on.
There's some animosity there. Here's Matthews going in motion from left to right, or right to left, rather. Here's Pitts once again trying to turn the corner at the 10-yard line and gets inside the 10 to about the 9. And not enough for a first down, but pretty close. Daniel Brash makes the stop for McKinney. Let's check down with John Leidy, who's down along the sidelines. John's had a pretty good look at how this game is going. John, talk to us. And I did call you John. Go ahead.
Guys, I'm down here on the sideline, and it's kind of a tale of two cities down here. You got the McKinney side that's pretty quiet, and the McKinney North is just loud and rowdy. Back up to y'all.
All right. Thanks a lot, John. Here's the fake by Chris Williams. He's going to run up the middle looking for another score. Fights inside the 5 to the 1. It is touchdown time in Texas. Chris Williams scores again for the second time tonight on a quarterback scramble. That is his 4th rushing touchdown of the year, and it gives McKinney North a 20-0 advantage awaiting the PAT. And this one's looking like a rout.
Yeah, it is, and you go back to the kind of things that are just befuddling to a coach, those little things that keep you from winning. Penalties at the wrong moment. The Lions have had a couple of those. Drops. The Lions had one key drop when they would have been close to a first down, and then a short quick kick that was very short.
Here's Meyer on for the PAT, and he makes it 21-0 with 11:27 left to go before half. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK.
Meyer on the kickoff for the Bulldogs.
Here is Meyer going to fake the onside kick, as they always do. McKinney North on top, 21-0 after the latest 9-yard touchdown by quarterback Chris Williams. Stanko has not even been in the game yet. at quarterback for McKinney North. Here's a high kickoff going to be taken by Gerald at the 5-yard line, coming up the left hash. Now he makes a move up to the middle of the field and not going anywhere as he's knocked down at the 18-yard line. Jay Lindley, how about an American Bank of Texas scoring drive recap?
I can do this quicker than that last drive. 4 plays, 47 seconds, 39 yards, and a 9-yard Chris Williams run, his second touchdown run of the night. 6 carries for 29 yards overall. You know, we said in the pregame we expected to see some work out of Williams. He's worked this entire first half of play.
You know, this is a critical point in the game for Bobby Rays and the Lions right now. The route is beginning to appear in the front windshield. They've got to make a statement on this drive to begin to climb back into this football game.
3 receivers to the left and a mix-up on the handoff, but Butler's going to take it around the left side. And for the first time, McKinney has a first down tonight.
Sure.
An 11-yard run by Anthony Butler around the left end, and for the first time, McKinney's moving the sticks.
That's the first down for the McKinney Lions since the third quarter of last Friday night's game with McKinney Boyd.
Wow. An offensive slump. 3 receivers to the near side. Moving left to right are the McKinney Lions. And Lee is going to fake the hand. Actually, he's going to give it. He's got Anthony Butler at the 40. Look out, 45 down at the 48-yard line. A flag down, but would have been the best run or the best offensive play of the night for McKinney, but it's coming back as Josh Matthews makes the stop.
Yeah, the linesman tossed it. That's going to be on the offense. You know, the one thing we mentioned, these are the kind of things that cause teams to self-destruct. Maybe it's going to be against the Dogs.
Yeah, no indication that they're moving backwards yet, and it is against McKinney North, which will be declined, and a first down by McKinney, and we'll have to change our way of thinking there. Maybe that's what gets the things going for McKinney.
Well, and that's exactly what Bobby Rays has got to do here. He's got to change the culture back to a winning culture. McKinney High School's got to begin to believe we can line up, smash mouth with anybody, and win this football game.
503 UIL victories for McKinney High, looking for 504, but they got a ways to go tonight. Handoff, Anthony Butler, running left tackle, makes through one hole, and now look, McKinney has something going on another 11-yard run for a first down. Anthony Butler is finally tackled by Tony Brown, but you mentioned that if you're going to run a spread offense, at some point you have to establish a running game, and looks like they're trying to do that here in the second quarter.
Well, I can tell you exactly what he had going. He's got the offensive line going. Great block that time by Michael Choate out there on the corner to open the seam up inside. Another first down for the Lions.
3 consecutive first downs for McKinney. Shotgun, handoff, Butler, right guard, makes his way through a couple of tackles down to the 35-yard line. He's going to be stopped by Colt 45 of McKinney North. And, you know, we have to mention Colt 45 has been playing a little banged up with some casts on his legs and hands and everything else, but I think he's free of knee braces and everything tonight, and he's playing lights out so far here in the second quarter. 10:01 left to go in the second quarter. McKinney North on top, 21-0.
The one thing we've not seen much of tonight is the arm of Zach Lee. Good time to throw here, 2nd and 5 yards to go.
2nd and 5. And Lee's going to hand off to Reggie Robinson, running around the right tackle, and he's going to be stopped by Spencer Rogers and company. Not much of a gain there, maybe a couple to the 32-yard line. The ball will be placed in between the 31 and the 32. So it'll be third. This is a pretty crucial 3rd and 1 already.
No question about it. The best drive of the night for the Lions, and certainly the deepest penetration into Dog territory. A score here, and maybe the game's back on.
Yeah, 21-0 right now. But they've got quite a ways to dig themselves out of this hole. Lipka split out wide left. Brandon White split wide right. Now whistles will blow before this one can get underway. On 3rd and 1, do we have a false start? No indication yet from the officials.
It's a sideline warning, I do believe. Yep, sideline warning is the signal from the officials, so no yardage will be penalized to either side. Matter of fact, the official pointing at both sidelines.
Well, once again, a crucial 3rd and 1. Now McKinney will go ahead and huddle back up, as bringing into play is Ryan Hart.
You know, this would be a good time. You've got a gunslinger back there, and Zach Lee. The Dogs are thinking short run on 3rd and short. You might do some kind of
Lee goes under center, and he pushes his way on the quarterback sneak for the first down. That's 4 consecutive first downs for McKinney High. And now the offensive line are waving their arms to McKinney High, faithful on the far side, trying to get them off their seats. And finally, some of them are making some noise over there.
That's their first third down conversion in 8 tries. So maybe the tide is turning for the Lions.
You know, I keep trying to get Zach Lee to throw the football, but you got to think that at some point Bobby Ray's is going to realize he's got a great quarterback back there, and they're going to lull the Dogs into a little bit of going to sleep mode, perhaps, with run.
One thing we haven't mentioned, Lipka one-on-one with Michael Scott, a shutdown corner for McKinney North. Lipka is going to see the ball coming his way on the fade route, and in the end zone, there's a flag down. I believe it was caught by Lipka.
No, it was batted away at the last moment as in coverage over there.
Michael Scott in coverage. We were just mentioning about Scott being a shutdown corner, and a great play made over there in the far end zone.
Well, I
think there is a flag. There are a couple of flags.
What they're going to get him for is he grabbed the jersey. He got a good handful of the jersey with the left hand. Made a great play with the right hand, knocked the ball away, but he had a handful of white jersey, and both officials saw it, and the 2 flags flew.
Michael Scott's father was an Arena League cornerback, so it runs in the blood, that cornerback position over there.
Well, and you can see he knows right there, he knows what happened because he didn't even contest it. He's got the hands on the hips, and he knows that he committed a mistake there.
Hey, you know, sometimes it's better to give up the foul than the 6 points, and I think he just committed the foul there because there's no question.
He was definitely beaten to the inside by Lipka.
And it was a great throw. It was on the money. Everything was lined up. So I think Michael Scott did the only thing that he could do, and that's interfere with Lipka. What 2 great receivers tonight's football game, Lipka and Douglas. This time Lipka will come near side, and 3 receivers to the left. Lee in shotgun, Anthony Butler in the backfield, standing alongside Lee. Shotgun, handoff, Butler up the middle, a nice hole for a moment, but Colt Floyd brings him down at the 7-yard line. So it'll be 2nd down and about 6 after about a 4-yard gain. 8-12 and rolling in the second quarter.
Lions' first trip into the red zone tonight. It needs to be successful. They've kept the Dogs' defense on the field for a lengthy drive here, and they've got to punch it in and begin to claw their way out of the hole they've allowed themselves to fall into.
Anthony Butler in the backfield will stand next to Zach Lee, the quarterback. 3 receivers to the left. And Lee looks that way, throws in the flats, has his man, and it's caught and then dropped at the 4-yard line. And on the catch for McKinney was Quentin Benson, the slot receiver. Came into tonight with 7 catches for 53 yards, gets his 8th there. And Colton Floyd is going to check out of the ball game.
I believe it was Scott that fought off the block by the far left receiver, fought his way back inside and prevented the first down from being gained. Sets up 3rd down and short. The biggest play of the game for the Lions so far tonight.
Rodney Nelson checks in as Colton Floyd checks out. We'll have to see what's going on with Colton. I think it's an equipment issue. Maybe John Leidy can figure out what's going on with him in just a moment. As it is 3rd down and short at the McKinney North 3-yard line. Anthony Butler gets the handoff up the middle. It's going to be very, very close. The ball is going to be spotted at about the 2-yard line as Terrence Hicks, the nose guard, makes the stop. They're going to bring out the chains, and this might be a good time to go down to John Leidy. John, have you had a chance to look at this one and see what it might look like?
Guys, this is going to be like the call last week. It's going to be by the tip of the ball if it is going to be a first down. I'm going to say that it's going to be about a half-inch short. Back up, y'all.
All right, you know, we have to remember that
maybe a little North bias there.
You have to remember that John Leidy at one time was a McKinney North Bulldog.
I think it's good by the length of the football because the ball is touching the 2-yard line, and that, I believe, is going to be the indication.
And it's a first down for McKinney High at the call it the 2-yard line.
Yeah, the ball resting, touching the 2, and the marker was between the 2 and the 3, so it was about 8 inches that the Lions had that first down for. Now 1st and goal, they've got to punch this in.
Full house backfield for McKinney. Leave on the quarterback. Keeper's going to fight. 2nd, 3rd effort gets him into the end zone. It's touchdown time in Texas for McKinney High. as they finally get on the board and cut this lead or deficit 21-6.
Yeah, Lee just simply rode the wave that time. The defense got a good push by the Dogs, and they got the legs chopped out from under a couple of linemen, but Zach Lee was able to get that second and third effort in because his knees did not touch the ground, and he was finally able to break the plane to the goal line with the football.
C.J. Gonzalez on for the extra point. The snap's back, it's on the tee. Kick is up, and the kick is good. 21-7, McKinney North in the lead in the 2007 Crosstown Showdown. 6:58 left to go before half. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK.
Lions scoring drive covering 82 yards. C.J. Gonzalez on the kickoff for the Lions.
Don't forget to stay tuned for the Chick-fil-A halftime shows. They bring us milkshakes. They're ready to go for us. And
You know, I got to raise a complaint here. I'm the one that got you started in this entire endeavor.
that's true.
What is the deal with you getting milkshakes hand-delivered to the press box?
Hey. You know? Well, there's going to be a flag on the kickoff. I was watching the kickoff go out of bounds. And
Hey, you're at a loss for words.
Well, you know, hey, what do you say? I think we're also having Applebee's deliver us some food at some point tonight. So, but let's make it known. It is the Chick-fil-A halftime show, all right?
I wouldn't say that too many more times in front of Lynn. He's got that look in his eye. I have a feeling he'll have that look tomorrow about, 5 o'clock.
You know, and Lynn is correct. I have to admit, Lynn, if it weren't for Lynn, I would not be standing here because in 1994, in the fall, Lynn called me. He knew my mother, worked with my mother at one point, knew me from playing football in Howell, called me and said, hey, you want to do sidelines for Sherman?
You were a great player in Howell. I think you were a Hall of Famer in Howell.
I was
All
20
century.
That's pretty special.
Okay, so I was 20 years old. Back to the story. Lynn calls me to do sidelines, and 14 years later, here I am. Because of Lynn Burkhead, and I'm so glad he's in the booth with us tonight. Welcome back, Lynn.
Well, I tell you what, it's a case of the mentoree surpassing the mentor because you certainly do a fantastic job down here
Well, I don't know about that.
at McKinney ISD football.
Here's the kickoff by McKinney. He's going to be taken right up the middle by Damon Pitts at the 45-50. Cuts it back to the 45, and once again, McKinney North in great field position as they run the kickoff back to the 42-yard line in McKinney territory. And, man,
45-yard return to kick things off.
how about an American Bank and Texas scoring drive recap?
Long drive for the Lions, 10 plays, 82 yards, 4 minutes and 29 seconds. Ticked off the clock, a 2-yard Zach Lee touchdown dive, I guess you could call it. And it somewhat stopped the bleeding, but, man, that wound opening right back up with that return.
These are the kind of things that you've got to change the culture. You get your drive to get back in the game, then you give up the big play in field position once again.
Williams still into the game at quarterback, runs the option to the right, keeps it, and is knocked backwards. Not a nice play for McKinney North there as Cameron Peterson makes a stop for McKinney. It's going to be a 1-yard loss. I think that's the first really negative play that we've seen from McKinney North all night long.
Yeah, they got great penetration up the field. They were able to stop Williams in the backfield. Then the linebacker slid over, came through the hole, and finished him off with a pop.
David Douglas comes near side as McKinney North moving right to left near that south end zone here at Ron Poe Stadium. Chris Williams, the quarterback, will move his tailback over, and he's going to run the option. Looks to throw and now loses his feet, and it's going to be dropped for a big loss back at the 48-yard line, but it might have been by his own doing as he tripped over his own feet. Matt Opazinski is going to get the credit for the stop, but Williams, maybe his shoes were just too big on that one.
Well, I'm going to tell you what happened right there is Rodney Zimmerman on the corner for the Lions. He came up, pushed back the running back that was trying to make the corner block to seal everything, and just pushed him back into Williams' path. Williams tripped over his own offensive player.
Well, the Lions have pushed McKinney North back on this possession. It's 3rd and 16, and for the first time, the Lion defense looks pretty tough. McKinney North has to call a timeout with 5:29 left to go before the Chick-fil-A halftime show. 21-7, McKinney North in the lead. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. McKinney North 3 for 3 on third downs. Williams back to pass, has Douglas, and it's caught at the 20-yard line. So first down for McKinney North. And hurrying up on the offense for McKinney North. They're going to hand off up the middle as Damon Pitts, and he's going to be tackled right at the line of scrimmage, so it'll be 2nd down and 10. Cameron Peterson on the stop for McKinney High.
Yeah, it was just a fly pattern down the sidelines. David Douglas, as he has come through all night long, making the big grab, just simply using his frame, all 6'1", to go up and make the grab to get the first down.
Low snap. Williams throws it out right side for Allen, who makes the catch and gains about 7 or 8 yards, maybe 9, close to the first down marker. Prescott Mack makes the stop for McKinney, and it'll bring up a 3rd and short, 3rd and 2 for McKinney North as the nice just hitch route. Williams threw it on the run out to the right side for Allen.
Let's go back to the big pass to Douglas. Looked like blown coverage. No safety help over the top. It was just simply corner against Douglas and 1-on-1. That battle's going to be lost most of the night.
3rd down and 2 for McKinney North. This is going to be Williams handing off up the middle. First down for McKinney North. I believe that's Damon Pitts on the carry. And he makes his way down to the 5-yard line. Daniel Brash on the stop. We'll have to see who gets off the pile. I thought for a moment it was Pitts, but I could be wrong. And it was Damon Pitts.
McKinney North now with 10 first downs tonight, 5 of 5 on 3rd down conversions, including that big 3rd and 16 just a moment ago.
Well, turnovers very decisive in games like these. The Lions, -1 in the turnover ratio. They need something like that here.
1st and goal from the 4. Handoff Damon Pitts up the middle. Nothing doing. As McKinney High turns him back, Josh Erickson and company leads the charge. So it'll be 2nd down and goal, and they'll give him forward progress, which is basically the line of scrimmage anyway. It'll be 2nd down and goal from the 4. This has been McKinney North's quarter for the past 2 years. They've scored the most points in the 2nd quarter. And here they are knocking on the door again. Here's Williams, quarterback, rolling out left into the end zone for his 3rd touchdown tonight. Chris Williams gives McKinney North a 27-7 advantage, awaiting the PATs.
He made the perfect read on the option play and simply turned it in, ducked it inside real quick, ran untouched to the end zone. Chris Williams looking like a senior all night long. 3rd touchdown, as you mentioned, on the ground. And tell you what, as you mentioned, we haven't seen Stanko yet, and I don't think we're going to for a while.
What a nice coaching decision by Sean Pratt. What a nice option to have. You have 2 quarterbacks. One can throw it and one can run. And obviously the game plan tonight was for the running quarterback to be in there as Stephen Meyer boots the PAT. And it's worked out tonight as the McKinney North Bulldogs lead 28-7 over their arch rivals, McKinney High, with 4:07 left to go in the second. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK.
KLAK.
Well, the kickoff by Stephen Meyer will be once again taken by Ty Gerald, who drops it initially and then makes his way up to about the 15-yard line and is really popped over there by John Whitfield, the 5'10 senior. And, man,
hate to keep harping on the little things, but those are the kind of things you've got to eliminate. And it's been little mistakes, little penalties, drop balls, field position, poor kicking game. That's what's doomed the Lions so far tonight. They had a chance for a return right there, but as you mentioned, Gerald dropped the ball. Everything collapsed in on him. And the field position, once again, the advantage goes to the Dogs here.
Lee, handoff up the middle to Anthony Butler, who's going to gain 3 yards up to about the 18, 19-yard line. Chris Harlan makes the stop for McKinney North. It'll be 2nd down and about 7.
I was about to say, of the 5 possessions McKinney High has had tonight, 3 of those have started inside their own 20-yard line. This being one of those 3.
3:35 left to go in the 2nd quarter. McKinney North on top, 28-7. Shotgun for Lee. 3 receivers to the left. Looks left, throws over, and has Benson in the slot, who has a first down up to the 27-yard line. A nice, just small. It's just a small throw. They're not asking Lee to go down the field. They've had the one throw down the field, which ended up in McKinney's favor because they got the penalty on it from Michael Scott, the cornerback. So I'm wondering, hey, why not attack these guys?
Well, this is a very important drive because if you can score here, you've cut the deficit in half, and you're going to get the ball to start the second half. So you could be looking at an opportunity to get 2 scores and not have the Dogs on the field offensively again until the 3rd quarter.
Lipka in the slot this time. Looking down the field is Lee. Now he has to scramble and run for his life. Up to the 30, up to the 35. First down and out of bounds at the 39-yard line. 2:51 on the clock, and it'll stop they'll have to move the chains anyway, but Michael Scott will get the credit for the tackle as he just pushed Zach Lee out of bounds. A heads-up run by Lee just to get out of the pocket.
Yeah, and give him a lot of credit right there. Footwork, everything for skill positions. He danced his way out of a shoestring tackle and found a running lane to the sidelines, was able to pick up the first. It looked like a sack. Instead, it's a first down.
We'll give you a scoring drive right after this play from that last possession. First down and 10 for McKinney, moving left to right with 2:51 left to go in the second quarter. This is going to be Lee handing off to Butler, coming around the right side, is popped at the line of scrimmage, but he somehow fights forward for another couple of yards. I believe it was Colton Floyd who initially popped him, but Butler was able to escape out of it. How about an American Bank of Texas scoring drive recap on that last possession by McKinney North?
8 plays, 42 yards, 2 minutes and 51 seconds ran off the clock. And, of course, another touchdown run by Mr. Williams, his third of the evening.
The Lions not in any hurry up at the moment. 2:20 to go in the half and counting. They've got all 3 timeouts trying to get this one in the end zone before intermission.
Lee in shotgun. Drops back 3 steps, looks to throw down the field. Look out, down to the 30 and overshoots his man Lipka at the 23-yard line.
There's the flag, saw the grab, but once again there was a handful of jersey. This time the guilty culprit is going to be out there. It's going to be the free safety, Chris Williams. He was behind on the play, tried to make up some ground by slowing down the receiver, grabbed a handful of jersey, the flag thrown, and it should be going against the Dogs.
If so, that'll be the second pass interference penalty against the Bulldogs.
Defensive holding.
I'm looking at, and Chris Williams was making the motion of like the ball was overthrown, like uncatchable, but it doesn't matter on defensive holding. So now McKinney will have a first down, another first down in the.
And that count's starting to go up, but now 8 first downs here in the first half after being really held to none their first 3 drives.
Well,
actually.
Again, a score here, and the Lions are going to get the ball to start the second half. They could be right back in this.
Lee throws to White in the slot, who caught it, and then the ball fell on the turf. They're going to rule it incomplete, but that's one that if you were in the NFL would obviously be looked at on instant replay. He had it, made his move upwards, and then the ball came out. I think that probably would be ruled a fumble, like I said, if you could go back and...
Well, the look that I had was that he for just the briefest of second, you might have thought he had it, but there was a hit delivered immediately, and it looked like he never had true possession of it.
It'll be second down and 10 with 2:01 left to go in the second quarter.
Looked like to me anyway.
Yeah, could have been. You know, my eyes are bad. Everybody knows that.
True.
Second down and 10. Handoff Anthony Butler up the middle. That's Brett Helt, actually. Brandon Helms' favorite player, makes his way down to the 40-yard line. And that'll be third down and
Your
5.
eyes aren't the only bad thing. Your heart, being a native Texan, rooting for that enemy tribe from the north. Got to question the heart of a native Texan rooting for the Crimson and Cream.
Well, I love a winner, Lynn.
We're going to go round and round, aren't we?
It'll be one of those nights.
Third down and 4.
Well, you know when the Dogs are winning. Orange, baby, orange.
Here's Lee, handoff to Helt once again, who stumbles immediately, or actually stutter steps initially, and then turns right, and then fights his way for a first down. Chris Harlan makes the stop for McKinney North. The 9th first down for McKinney here in the first half, and now they're finally making some way offensively. Timeout on the field. We'll take one, too. 1:20 left to go in the second. 28-7, McKinney North in the lead. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK.
Ozzy Walker and McKinney ISD football on 97.5.
First down and 10. Lee throws down the field for Lipka into the end zone, and it is touchdown time in Texas for McKinney as a tremendous throw on the run off the back foot of Zach Lee. Threw it down the left side. Lipka made the catch at about the 3, turned around and scored.
I got to tell you, that is an outstanding throw. Zach Lee, has the cannon, being the big baseball pitcher. He was moving across the field, threw against his body, off balance, still threw the ball more than 40 yards in the air. Lipka made the adjustment. Touchdown McKinney, and look out, the Lions could get right back in this with a score to begin the second half.
Two sophomores. How about that? Here's C.J. Gonsalves, and the extra point is true, 28-14. McKinney cuts the lead. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to Ron Post Stadium. 1:11 left here in the second quarter, and McKinney had called the timeout. They come back, and they called the right play, apparently, because Lee hit Lipka for a 35-yard touchdown strike, and we'll hear that a lot over the next few years. Here's a squib kick going to be taken by Marquise Millard-Sims at the 38, makes his way up to the midfield stripe, crosses the midfield stripe into McKinney territory to the 48-yard line, and once again, the field position game is not working out for McKinney. Ryan Hughes makes the stop for McKinney there.
Well, Bobby Ray's got to be scratching his head right now. You knew he did not want to give up the big return. So they do the short pooch on side, and they still get the big return in the Lion territory.
How about an American Bank of Texas scoring drive recap, Jay?
9 plays, 84 yards, 2 minutes and 56 seconds off the clock. A 35-yard strike between Zach Lee to Matt Lipka. And like you said, you'll hear that a lot. By the way, Lee only 7 passing attempts tonight. He's 4 of 7 for 55 yards and 1 touchdown.
1:05 left to go before half. McKinney North probably try to strike here. Chris Williams still into the game. Will drop back to pass. Well, actually, he hands off the Fruit on the draw. 40, 35, down to the 30-yard line. Fruit Cole. A big run of about 17 yards on first down. Daniel Brash makes the stop for McKinney, and we're under a minute now. That'll stop the clock for a moment while they move the chains. But McKinney North trying to punch it in once again right here before half. First down and 10. Williams wants to throw the fade route out for David Douglas, and it's in and out of his hands, just overthrown. That's a ball that, David Douglas is 6'1". He plays like he's about 6'5", but he needed to be about 6'5" on that play.
That's Williams' first incompletion of the night.
It was just out of his fingertips, but you got to give credit. That time it was Preston Mack, and he had pretty good coverage there on the fly pattern down the sidelines. Douglas unable to get the separation that he needed that time.
Prescott Mack's dad was a former NFL player as well. Here's Williams in shotgun, second down and 10. Under pressure and sacked in the backfield. Ryan Hughes gets him. Now the ball's on the turf, and a scramble forward at the 27-yard line. McKinney says they have it. This could be huge. No indication officially, and now they say yes, McKinney's football. And
now
the officials actually are saying no. They're having a conversation at the 30-yard line. Maybe this is one that John Leidy could sort out for us. John's right there on the sidelines. John, you might want to take a look at this one and tell us what you see.
Guys, they're actually debating at whether it's going to be an incomplete pass, forward pass, or it's going to be a fumble. The way they're determining that is he threw it underhand, so they're going to call it a fumble. Rather, if he would have thrown it overhand, it would have been a pass incomplete. Back up to y'all.
Okay, thanks, John, and that's exactly correct. And now McKinney North's defense is going to have to come out on the field.
Well, and that's the first time tonight the Lion defense has made a big stand when they've needed to. They had their backs against the wall. The Lions could climb back in this game early in the second half, but they sure didn't want to give up the points then. Certainly not the touchdown. They got the big turnover, their first of the night.
That's a decision by a quarterback who hasn't played quarterback a lot.
Well,
got
he
under
was throwing
pressure.
To an offensive lineman at that. It would have been the penalty had the lineman caught it.
Look out here. Lee drops back 3 steps, looks for Litka, throws out left, throws for Dario Jackson in the slot, makes the catch for about 9 yards up the left hash to the 38-yard line. 33 seconds on the clock, and I'm sure a timeout has been called because the clock has stopped. It was only a 9-yard gain. Michael Scott was in coverage. And they're going to have to start the clock here, and now it is rolling. Oh, it was a first down. So they move the chains. Now the chain crew hurries up and moves. And here's Lease rolling out right. Wants to throw it under pressure. Throws it across the middle. And Lipka drops it at the 48-yard line. He had lots of room to run. Perhaps the entire field. Now Michael Scott was there, but Lipka just dropped it.
Yeah, he dropped it, and it looked like that Scott was moving to his right. Lipka had made the move back inside. I think if Lipka catches it, if he gets away on the first step cleanly, he goes to the house.
Instead, it'll be second down and 10. 21 seconds on the clock. McKinney desperately needs to score before the half. Down 28-14. Shotgun for Lee. Rolls right. 3 steps. Throws it in the flat. Dario Jackson makes the catch at the 45-yard line, and you got to think a timeout's coming here. They'll give him forward progress to the 46. 12 seconds left on the clock. Kyle Dancy in coverage for McKinney North, and it will be a timeout called by McKinney High, and we'll keep it right here.
It was a huge hit. Marquise Millard Sims came up and laid a wallop and kept the Lions from getting a first down and potentially a whole lot more out there in single coverage.
Well, they'll have 3rd and 1 here, but that really doesn't matter. They're going to have 2 shots to go down the field and score. So it really, and that's probably all you want is 2 downs. You don't want to string this out and give McKinney North an extra chance, which they probably would down it anyway, leading 28-14. But this could be very interesting right here before the half. Anytime you have the sophomore duo of Lee to Lipka, it spells trouble for the defense. 3rd down and 1 as they make their way back out on the field. The McKinney High crowd a little lethargic. This is a big moment in the football game for McKinney High. 3 receivers to the left side. 1 man in the backfield along with Zach Lee, the quarterback. 4 yards back in shotgun formation. Stands at his own 41-yard line. Shotgun gets it. Looks left. Throws left. Has his man. It's caught by White at the 35-30. 25. Look out. 20. Makes the move to the 15. Fighting his way down to the 10. A gang tackle at the 8-yard line. The clock has expired. The second quarter is over. And what a valiant effort by McKinney to get in the end zone. Comes up about 6 yards short. You have to give credit to Brandon White for making the move, but you also probably should have stepped out of bounds once you're down there.
There's no question about it. You got to know what is going on in terms of clock management. They only had 12.9 seconds to cover a very lengthy bit of green turf. Brandon White got the ball down in the red zone. If he had gone to the knee, they'd had 3 seconds to go and an opportunity to throw in the end zone on the final play of the half. As it was, he he had a chance to make an inside move to the goal line. He decided to do that instead of go out of bounds. That's what cost him an opportunity to go for the touchdown.
Is that a momentum shifter before the half?
Well, I got to say this. The Lions were all but dead just a little while ago. They're very much alive right now in the football games in terms of momentum. They're going to get the ball to start the second half. If they can score, we got a ball game in the second half. That could have been a backbreaker for the Dogs because instead of the Lions looking to get back, you could have been looking at a tie ball game on the first drive of the second half. That definitely is a huge play for the Dogs. The Lions have plenty to build on in the locker room.
Well, McKinney will have to kick to start the second half.
That's right.
But still, you're exactly right. Momentum, I think, has swung the Lions' way, even though they're down 28-14, which is very strange.
Well, I think it's real simple. I mean, North took the first quarter, McKinney High took the second quarter, and we've got 2 more quarters to go.
Right now, 28-14. We're at the Chick-fil-A halftime show. McKinney North leads, and I want to tell you, if you want to go to Chick-fil-A at 380 and 75, they have half-price milkshakes all night tonight.
I think the game is going to come down to this. It's going to come down to what's going to be more effective in the second half. The running duo of Chris Williams and Fruit Cole, or the arm, and we've seen it come alive here in the second quarter of Zach Lee. Zach Lee can turn this game around in a hurry if he can get hot.
That he can. We're going to take a quick break, come back with stats, highlights, and everything else, and a district wrap-up by Jay on 97.5 KLAK.
Have 12 carries for 72 yards. It's interesting because the Lions, through 4 games this season, they have yet to have a player have a 100-yard rushing performance. So right now, Butler on pace to do just that, 12 carries for 72 yards. That rushing offense that you spoke of, 20 carries for 109 yards and 1 touchdown, and most importantly, no turnovers by the Lions in the first half. As for McKinney North, solid outing by quarterback Chris Williams, his first start of the year behind center, 6 of 7, 53 yards passing, 1 touchdown. Of course, the touchdown going to none other than David Douglas. Douglas, 5 receptions, 45 yards here at the half. The ground attack for McKinney North has been split, really, between Fruit Cole and Damon Pitts. Cole here at the half, 5 carries, 44 yards. As for Pitts, 6 carries for 39 yards. Overall, 21 carries, 112 yards. Of course, the 3 touchdowns on the ground by quarterback Chris Williams. But they do have the one turnover, the turnover right before halftime that could have been very costly. But in the end, it was not. And here's another shocker for you as far as stats are concerned. The McKinney Lions coming in had 1 first down the entire second half of last week's game against McKinney Boyd. Here at the half, they've actually got more first downs than the McKinney North Bulldogs. They've got 12 first downs to McKinney North's 11 first downs. They owned the football in the first half, 13 minutes and 48 seconds to McKinney North's 10 minutes and 12 seconds. It'll be they had a similar outing last week against McKinney Boyd. It'll be interesting to see whether or not this team can put 2 solid halves together. If they can, this could very much become a very good ball game.
Well, I'm sure one of the things that Bobby Rays was telling his kids in the locker room is simply this: don't wait for something good to happen. Let's go make it happen in the second half. This is a young football team, and they've got to begin to learn how to make those plays that are going to turn ball games around. You're going to be in dogfights in District 9 4A, a lot of talent across the board, and so you've got to begin to make some plays defensively. They finally got one late in the first half. It nearly cost the Dogs in a big way as the Lions quickly moved the ball down the field. Had a chance right at the end of the game, Monty, or right at the end of the half, rather, to get into the end zone perhaps, but clock management didn't work out for the Lions. They had an opportunity to get out, have one shot to the end zone. They couldn't make it happen.
All right, guys, just a quick reminder. I don't know if we mentioned this or not.
The one thing, there was a lot of, we talked about the pregame festivities.
Well, one was right on the field, and we had a winner in the Suzuki Cars of McKinney Kick 'em In contest before the game. Congratulations to Chris Coleman of McKinney, who kicked 20 and 40-yard field goals successfully to win a brand-new television, which is given to him by Suzuki Cars of McKinney. All proceeds from this contest benefited the booster clubs of McKinney North and McKinney High School. Thanks to Mr. Hopper, Charles, and Rick for supporting McKinney ISD football. We also
what was his name again?
Chris Coleman.
Chris Coleman. Jay, Chris Coleman showed the kind of form that I saw about 20 years ago when I broadcast a playoff game, Hal and Salina, and guess who the place kicker was for the Dogs?
It wouldn't be a member of the All-Century Hal.
It is a member of the All-Century team.
Monty Walker, perhaps.
Monty Walker.
Lynn, I thought this would be fun bringing you back in the booth.
Oh, it is. It's great.
I will say this: Monty Walker was a tough customer.
Lynn, anytime you can be in this booth, come on.
All right, now, guys. Hey, I do want to mention the Athlete of the Week, sponsored by Tutoring Club of McKinney. It's actually the Scholar Athlete of the Week. And this week, Matt Lipka, the Scholar Athlete of the Week from McKinney High. Matt is an exceptional student on the field and off the field. What makes him stand out is that he's an exceptional student off the field. Matt excels at every subject and is a leader among students. Congratulations, Matt. You are our Tutoring Club Athlete of the Week, sponsored by Tutoring Club, obviously. We want to say thanks to Chick-fil-A for bringing us our Chick-fil-A milkshakes, which are half off all night long, and that's only at $3.80 and $75. So don't be going to Allen and asking them half off for their milkshakes. They're not going to give them to you. Here in McKinney at $3.80 and $75. Go over there. Tell them that you heard it on 97.5 KLAK. And
we sure appreciate Chick-fil-A, but, hey, if you guys ever get like Ruth Chris to sponsor your halftime show, count me in.
Is that what you guys have up in Denison?
No.
Okay. Now, Lynn is the play-by-play voice of the Denison Yellow Jackets, and they're off tonight, so I was glad to be able to call up Lynn. I didn't know he'd give me so much grief tonight, but I'm glad to have him back in the booth.
Well, the Boomer Sooner song, it just deserves some payback.
Hey, we were together for 10 years, 10 consecutive years.
Almost killed each other a few times.
But, hey, we had a lot of fun, having a lot of fun tonight as McKinney makes their way back onto the field, and McKinney North. And North will go back and kick return formation for the first time tonight. David Douglas, who returned a kick last week, for a touchdown will stand at his own 5 or 6 yard line. And also back there is Damon Pitts. C.J. Gonzalez will kick off for McKinney. He only takes a 5-yard step off, whereas Stephen Meyer takes 9. Here's the kick. It's a short pooch kick, going to bounce at the 25, be taken at the 24-yard line, and down almost immediately at the 31-yard line is Josh Matthews.
Making the stop for the Lions, Daniel Brash came flying over a la Bill Bates as he wears the number 40 and made a slashing tackle right in the middle of the field. And the Dogs with their worst starting field position of the night.
You know, if McKinney wants to fight and claw their way back into this game, they need a really good push right here to start this second half with their defense. Here's Chris Williams coming back out at quarterback for McKinney North. Stands in shotguns, moves Douglas in motion. Is going to hand off to Douglas. Moving across on the reverse, up to the 30, up to the 35. And anytime you see him lean forward and tackled by several people, you get kind of worried. Michael Riancho makes the stop, but a nice gain of 7 on first down by Douglas. You get kind of worried when you see Douglas in traffic like that, though. As Douglas on second down and 3 will come near side. 11:26 left to go in the third quarter, just underway here in the second half. McKinney North on top, 28-14, moving right to left. Williams in the backfield, shotgun, handoff, Fruit Cole, left guard, and has the first down at the 42-yard line. We got the first down by about half a yard with the second effort, and it'll be Josh Erickson on the stop for McKinney.
Well, it looks like McKinney North is back to doing what made them so successful in the first half, running the football just a little bit and really moving those chains.
Well, it was a good job that time of the guys on the left side, Houston Beasley, Trent Blodel in the center, Taylor Duke that did a nice job of opening the cutback lane.
Man in motion, and whistles will blow and flags will fly before this one can get underway. It'll be first down and 15, as it'll be a 5-yard step off against McKinney North. I'm looking down on the field, and I'll be honest. Oh, I do see. There he is. There's Paul Stanko. Vince. Paul was his brother. Vince Stanko on the field down there. I was wondering. I didn't even see him for a moment. Now I see him down there. You got to wonder, Stanko's attitude in this game. Obviously, if you're winning, you don't really care, I guess. But all quarterbacks love to play. Here's Williams. He's going to hand off up the middle. Fruit Cole again. Bust through the 40 up to the 43-yard line. Still in McKinney territory. It'll be Matt Opazinski on the stop for the Lions.
Our score here, 28-14. An interesting score tonight. The Indians in 11 over the Yankees, 2-1. What was up with Bron last night wearing the Yankees cap in Cleveland? That's not going to sit well with the locals.
Second down and 9 from McKinney North. I'll leave the Yankees out of this. I don't like those Yankees. Here's Williams on the quarterback, keeper around the right side. 50, 45, 40, down the sideline to the 35 and out of bounds at the 33-yard line. A nice move by Williams. He just turns on the boosters around the right side before Daniel Brash finally gets credit for the tackle.
Yeah, he's got some jets. He turned it into another gear when he rounded the corner, and it was only Branch that saved the touchdown. I thought for a second he had to cut back to the inside. Branch did a nice job, though, of making the open field stop.
Well, it was kind of like the speed kind of reminded me. Did you watch the Cowboy game when Creighton caught the touchdown and Terrell Owens just right past him? That's kind of the jets that Williams just showed right there. Here's Fruit Cole on the handoff to the right tackle, sneaking his way through a couple of defenders inside the 30 to the 29-yard line of McKinney's territory. 9:44 on the clock and rolling in the third quarter. 28-14, McKinney North in the lead.
Well, you mentioned that we haven't seen Stanko tonight, and right now the Dogs have exactly what they want running the football. They got the big power game going with Fruit Cole. They got the shifted into another gear with Chris Williams.
Second down. Matthews goes in motion from left to right. Williams shotgun. Handoff, Fruit Cole met at the line of scrimmage and gang tackled right at the 29-yard line. No gain on the play. Ryan Hughes, the first one there, but lots of gold helmets finished off Fruit Cole.
We know a lot of people, as the spread offense has become so much in vogue, a lot of people think the spread is all about passing. It's really not. It's about the run, and it's about spreading people out to where you can have a successful running game.
Third down for McKinney North.
It's really catch-22. When the run's there, the passing's there.
5 for 5 on third down.
Here's Chris Williams running up the middle and squirting his way through somehow close to a first down at the 23-yard line. I thought for a moment there's no way he would be anywhere close to that first down. Daniel Brash makes the stop, and I think he might be about a yard short.
Well,
it was amazing that he even got close.
Yeah, he got the dreaded left-footed spot rather than the right-footed spot. I thought initially that the officials were going to mark it at the first down marker, but instead it's going to be 4th down and 1.
4th and 1 for McKinney North. Full house backfield.
Huge play for the Lions to climb back into this.
Shotgun for Williams. And it's going to be a handoff. Damon Pitts up the middle, and he's stopped. A turn away by the McKinney Lions, and they're going to take over on downs at their own 24-yard line.
What a great job. They got a big push by the line. The backers and the corners came crashing in to finish it off. Tackled by committee that time. A lot of gold hats on the Dogs.
Matt Opazinski was the first one there, but you're right. Gold hats everywhere, and they'll give McKinney the ball at the 25-yard line.
I'll tell you what, a score here for the Lions. Game on.
28-14, McKinney North in the lead. And you've got to look out for the ever so dangerous sophomore quarterback receiver combination of Zach Lee and Matt Lipka. Lee is in shotgun formation. Two receivers to the right side, the near side. This is going to be a handoff up the middle, and nothing doing there. A big loss, unless he got forward progress. And his forward progress is only going to be a yard loss. Terrence Hicks on the stop for McKinney North.
Well, we talked about the big push the Lions got on 4th down, an equally big push that time by the defensive front for the Dogs. The line got the big push, plugged the holes up. There was nowhere for the back to go. The linebackers finish it off.
That was Brett Helt on the carry for McKinney. Three receivers to the near side now on 2nd down and 11. Butler in the backfield. Lee wants to throw, drops back 2 steps, under pressure, now rolls right, and throws on the run and out of bounds, trying to hit his receiver, Quentin Benton.
I'll tell you what, Zach Lee is pretty amazing. Chris Williams, difficult to bring down. And while Zach Lee certainly doesn't have the speed or the moves that Chris Williams does, he's eluded about 3 tackles or sacks in the backfield tonight. That time danced out of trouble again, bought time, waited for a receiver to get in the vicinity, then threw the ball away.
Desmond Ehrlich initially had the pressure, and then later on Colton Floyd was there to make him throw the ball out of bounds. 7:10 left to go in the third quarter. And McKinney trailing their rival McKinney North here, 28-14. 3rd down and 11 for McKinney. Moving left to right. At their own 24, Lee wants to throw. Drops back, sacked in the backfield at the 18-yard line.
Well, the pocket just collapsed around Lee. He didn't feel the backside pressure coming, and he goes down in a heap. He was trying to get in one-on-one coverage. He was trying to get Brandon White breaking free on the near sideline, and White just got jammed at the line and couldn't get a break on the ball. And it was great penetration or great upfield presence by the Dogs, and they were able to crash through for the sack.
Give Chris Harlan his first sack of the year. C.J. Gonzalez will stand back as his own 5-yard line. A high spiraling, now a wobbly kick. Bounces at the 42-yard line. A nice McKinney Lions bounce over the midfield stripe into McKinney North territory and will be killed at the 47. So still pretty good field position for McKinney North. Moving right to left with 6:22 left to go in the third. 28-14. McKinney North in the lead.
That wound up being a 35-yard punt, and initially it looked as though it was going to be about a 15-yard punt. So
yeah, it didn't look good coming off the foot.
Yeah, the roll is what got all of that, and the kicking game has really betrayed McKinney tonight. They've got to get special teams turned around if they're going to get back into this.
Douglas near side, 2 receivers to the right. Damon Pitts in the backfield along with Chris Williams, the quarterback. Williams is going to keep it, escapes one defender, up to the 50, crosses the 50, down to the 40. Well, they'll give him the 47-yard line, so a 6-yard gain on first down. Matt Opazinski makes the stop for McKinney. It'll be second and about 5, so only give him 5 yards on first down.
Well, I haven't seen Stanko play, obviously doing Denison games, but I tell you what, I don't understand why Chris Williams is not the starter here. That time looked like he was in jail. A high snap, got it, had to go up in the air, stumbled forward, looked like he was only going to get a yard. Instead, he picks up 6.
5:47 and rolling in the third. Williams looks to the sideline trying to get the play. They can't get the play, so they have to call a timeout. We'll take 1-2. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Here goes Williams to the 35-30, 25-20, 15-10. Cuts it inside to the 5, down at the 3-yard line. Chris Williams on a huge run. Finally tackled by Andy Martinek down at the 1-yard line. Every time we go to break, something big happens, and that time Chris Williams made a tremendous fake right at the midfield stripe and almost took it to the house.
47 yards on that carry, Monty. Now 14 carries, 3 touchdowns, 110 yards on the evening for the quarterback, Chris Williams.
Whatever play they wanted, it turned out to be the right one. This is going to be a handoff up the middle. Damon Pitts into the end zone. It's touchdown time in Texas with 5:28 left to go in the third quarter. McKinney North stretches their lead, 34-14, awaiting the PAT.
Well, earlier I said Chris Williams had an extra gear. I think I'm going to correct myself. I think he's got 2, maybe 3 extra gears. He kicked it into overdrive that time. Mach 2. If he could have hit Mach 3, he was in the end zone. Instead, he went down at the 1. It was all academic at that point.
A tremendous run by Chris Williams around the right side, and he was shot out of a cannon. 34-14, awaiting this PAT by Stephen Meyer. It's on the tee. The kick is up, and the kick is good. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK.
ISD football on 97.5 KLAK.
McKinney North will fake the onside kick after the 1-yard touchdown by Damon Pitts. And our new score, 35-14. McKinney North. Here's the kickoff by Stephen Meyer. Going to go to the 5-yard line. Ty Gerald not in the game. They move Robinson over there, and he goes all the way across the field. And it's going to be the same result. McKinney's going to start inside their 20 at about the 18-yard line. And I take that back. It was Robert Radway who returned that ball to the 18-yard line. How about an American Bank of Texas scoring drive recap, Jay?
3 plays, 53 yards. Of course, a big 47-yard run by quarterback Chris Williams to set up the dirty work for Damon Pitts. A 1-yard touchdown run. Only 54 seconds off the clock. The Bulldogs striking quickly, and it's now 35-14.
Chris Williams, maybe not the kind of frame that Division I college programs want for their quarterback. Guarantee you he's got a future as a slot receiver somewhere.
5:18 left to go in the third. Here's a handoff up the middle to Butler. That's Robinson, actually. Spins out of a couple of tacklers to the 26-yard line. A nice gain on first down by McKinney High. Marquise Millard-Sims makes the stop for McKinney North.
Getting back to Chris Williams, I'm just really in awe of what he's done tonight. Reminds me of the kid that Denison had for 2 years, Stanley Morrison, who had all kinds of speed. And the one thing you cannot do is we got McKinney North players shaking up on the field. The one thing, Monty, you cannot do, you cannot teach speed.
That's Colton Floyd down, and he's on his back at the 26-yard line. Give us some stats on Chris Williams tonight, Jay.
Williams through the air, 6 of 7 for 53 yards and a touchdown on the ground.
6 of 7?
6 of 7.
For a running quarterback?
For a running quarterback. Matter of fact, the one incompletion, the last pass of the first half, 6 of 7, 53 yards pass, and 1 touchdown on the ground. 14 carries, 110 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And, of course, 47 of those yards coming on the last drive. It's interesting seeing Floyd. We talked about in the pregame, this is the first game he's had without some sort of cast or being taped up in some manner.
Yeah, he comes off the field here. He's okay. And that'll bring up second down and 2 for McKinney. And Lee wants to throw it, and he has Benson in the flats. And Benson has some running room up to the 40, up to the 45, and down at the 47-yard line. A big gainer there for McKinney. Near the midfield stripe, Josh Matthews, the sophomore, makes the stop for McKinney North. And Colton Floyd checks right back into the football game.
Tell you what, you see the talent of Zach Lee right there. That was a very quick throw, and he put some mustard on it, right on the money. Tell you what, if the Lions can get some things around Zach Lee over the next 2 years as he becomes a junior and a senior, this young man is going to have quite a decision to make, baseball or football.
Lipka split out wide right as McKinney is moving left to right. Handoff up the middle, and that's Robinson. And he's pretty quick as he gets over the midfield stripe to the 49-yard line in McKinney North territory. And Jace Boyd makes the stop for McKinney North. 4:15 and rolling here in the third quarter. And it's been all McKinney North, 35-14, with dashes of McKinney making some noise, but really not enough to amount to anything so far into this football game. Second down and 6, 3 receivers to the left side. Lee stands 4 yards back at shotgun. He wants to throw in the flats once again, and a great play by the linebacker out there in the flats. Sam Kimani absolutely destroyed Quentin Benson as soon as he made the catch in the left flat. It was almost a screen pass out of the backfield, but Benson was in the slot. Lee ran that way, threw it to him, and Sam Kimani, he had it read immediately.
He had it read, and, he zeroed in on the back immediately. I think had he been looking, he had a chance to pick that ball and take it to the house.
That would have been something. Third down and 7 here. 1 yard loss on that last play. Here's Lee up the middle, and he's going to fight for some yardage, but not enough. It'll be fourth down time for McKinney. Rodney Nelson gets credit for the stop, but a lot of orange helmets there for McKinney North. The ball is resting at the 49-yard line in McKinney North territory. It's fourth down, and, the scoreboard says 6, but I think it's 5.
I think it's 4 down territory for the Lions. They've got to get back in this ball game. They're on the right side of the field, the dog side of the field, and they've really had no answer for the Dogs offensively.
They're in that quick kick formation once again, but remember last week they threw the fade route from Lee to Lipka, and they're going to kick it again. And once again, a bad kick by Lee. It's going to bounce at the 18-yard line, going to be taken down the left hash, or left sideline rather, and out of bounds goes Josh Matthews. No, that's Marquise Millard Sims, who actually picked it up off the turf and took it back to the 30-yard line, and they'll give him credit for bringing it up to the 33.
Well, the Bulldog coaches were pointing out, I believe it was Quinn Benson, went out of bounds for the Lions, came back onto the field to play, made contact but did not make the tackle, and the Dogs wanted a penalty right there, did not get it.
Chris Williams and Troop will come back out on the field. McKinney North moving right to left at their own 33-yard line with 2 minutes and 23 seconds left and a 35-14 advantage. Williams in shotgun sends Matthews in motion from right to left. Gets the snap, handoff up the middle. Damon Pitts to the 40, up to the 45, still moving his feet and down at the 46-yard line. A first down for Damon Pitts. Daniel Brash makes the stop for McKinney.
And give all the credit that time to the tight end in motion, Aaron Matthews. Came across the line, made a huge block as this ball was snapped. That sprung Pitt, and it's a first down for the Dogs. And the Lions, if you want to know the difference in this game, they have no answer for the running game for the Dogs at this point.
Remember last week, McKinney Boyd basically manhandled them in the second half. North trying to do that tonight. Matthews in motion again, under 2 minutes in the third quarter. Handoff, Pitts running right tackle this time. Big hold of the 50. Spins out of a tackle. Another first down to the 42-yard line for Damon Pitts. And Pitts already having a big night. Ryan Hughes makes the stop. We'll get some numbers on Damon Pitts.
At 16 first downs already here in this contest for McKinney North. 5 of them here in the second half already.
That time it was Trent Blodel, the 6', 240 junior left guard, made the key block to spring for the first down.
Man goes in motion behind Williams, and that's Pitts who gets the handoff again. Another big hole, 30 down to the 25, cuts it inside to the 10, and actually just outside the 10 to the 11-yard line, and Damon Pitts is running wild.
11 carries for 94 yards and 1 touchdown on that last drive. And really this drive has been the big one. He's had a carry of 12, a carry of 13, and a carry of 30.
Andy Martinek on the stop. This McKinney North team, did they really get beat in a scrimmage by Sherman 49-0? Could that have really happened?
What the paper says.
Matthews in motion from left to right. Handoff. Damon Pitts running right tackle. This time not so much. It stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Daniel Brash, one of them. And it's going to be
They're going to give him forward progress to the 9.
Yeah, they'll give him progress to the 9-yard line. It'll be second down and 8 from the 9, so they can get a first down at the 1. And we're under a minute now in the third quarter. Williams in the gun. 2 receivers either side. And he's going to run. And he's not going to get much. He probably lost a yard to the 10-yard line. He was looking. That's one of those where he probably should have pitched it. Michael Riancho makes a stop. A nice play by Riancho to come up and make Williams make a decision. And Williams made the wrong decision.
Well, the problem with the running game deep in the red zone, especially down around the 10-yard line, is you've compressed the defense to where everybody's close to the line of scrimmage, and you're able to get safety help and corner help over quickly to stop the run.
Third down and 9. Williams wants to throw in the end zone for David Douglas, and it's caught. A miraculous catch, one-handed with his left hand, stumbling out of the end zone. David Douglas, a miraculous catch over Andy Martinek once again, and it's 41-14 McKinney North.
I got to tell you, Jay, I thought once again, as good as Douglas is, thought he got away with a hand shove right there at the end. Official right there didn't make the call.
He might have been a little bit over the back, but again, another great catch in the end zone.
That was a circus catch.
Well, I think the official might have been so caught on the catch, he missed the interference.
Meyer on for the extra point, and this one, a line drive kick that's no good. Only the second time he's mixed an extra point all year. It's 41-14 with 7 seconds left to go in the third. Back in a moment. 97.5 KLAK. Well, I think we have a Anchor Credit Loan money play of the game. If that catch wasn't money, I don't know what is. We'll replay that in the postgame show. Stephen Meyer, a little confusion on the kickoff team as they line up to kick it deep. They don't do that very often. They usually do the Quail onside, and they're going to kick it to the right side this time, up the middle to Dario Jackson, and he'll make his way up to the 28-yard line. The best return so far of the night for McKinney. And was that, that was Lipka actually on the return. And that reminds me, Matt Lipka, our Scholar Athlete of the Week, sponsored by the Tutoring Club of McKinney. Matt Lipka, wide receiver for McKinney High School. Matt is an exceptional student on the field, but what it makes him stand out is that he's an exceptional student off the field. He excels in every subject and is a leader among students.
We got some laundry on the field at the 40-yard line. I think the Dogs were guilty of being offsides, and they were. They're going to move the ball up the field.
How about an American Bank of Texas scoring drive recap, Jay?
6 plays, 66 yards, capped off by an incredible catch by David Douglas. A 10-yard touchdown reception, his second of the night. And with that, McKinney North, 327 yards of total offense, 264 of that on the ground.
1.5 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Handoff up the middle, and a big, nice hole for a moment. And I believe that was Anthony Butler. And Spencer Rogers makes a stop. That's the end of the third quarter, 41-14, McKinney North in a rout. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Anthony Butler gets the handoff for McKinney, and he pushes the chains forward as he picks up a first down to the 47-yard line. Let's check down with John Leidy. John is on the McKinney North side. I didn't think we'd probably see John on the McKinney side since he is a former Bulldog. John, talk to us. What do you got down there? John is conversing with some of his McKinney North Bulldogs. Flag on the play. Lee wants to throw it deep, looking down the field. Lipka has it go in and out of his hands at the 20-yard line. Would have been a nice haul in, but it was pretty good coverage by McKinney North's Kyle Dancy over there. But remember, a flag is down at the line of scrimmage.
Flag or not, the Lion fans have a lot to be excited about in the future. Zach Lee, as you well reported in your scouting report to me, he's got a cannon. That was a perfectly thrown ball, should have been caught. And I tell you what, if I'm the offensive coordinator here at McKinney, I'm drooling over the next 2 years.
You know, McKinney not doing so well, as we know, on the scoreboard tonight. But, hey, let's look at overall in the 2000s. McKinney currently has a 34-42 record in this decade. The last time the Lions had a losing record in a decade was the 1950s when they were 45-51. Here's Butler around the right side on 2nd and 10. A nice play. Oh, what a tackle by Josh Matthews. The safety comes up and makes one heck of a play on Anthony Butler trying to get outside. Matthews says no.
I've seen that move on steer wrestling.
They'll give him forward progress, I guess, to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down and 10.
And Vince Stanko warming up on the near sideline. We may have seen the last of Chris Williams tonight.
Well, talking about the home field advantage, McKinney North, if they hold on and win here, will be 21-9 at Ron Post Stadium in their history. Lee drops back 3 steps, now steps up in the pocket, rolls out right, being chased by Colton Floyd. Outruns Colton Floyd down the sidelines to the 36-yard line, a 1st down for McKinney.
Well, you know, I've been bragging on the arm of Zach Lee all night, but I got to give him another kudos. He's got great pocket presence. Felt the heat coming, got out of the pocket, took off, saw the boundary. Then at the end, this is not something you expect out of a sophomore. He laid a lick at the end of that play.
That was the first converted 3rd down here in the second half by the McKinney Lions. Overall tonight, 3 of 7 on 3rd down conversions.
Another thing that could change tonight, the home team winning for the first time in an inter-school rivalry. Here's Lee throwing it, and it's going to be incomplete. He was trying to hit Brett Helt, who was running out in the flats, and I think the ball may have just slipped out of his hands. Or no, he pitched it underhanded, Rob Johnson tells me. It was a pitch that went behind the line of scrimmage, or actually a lateral. No, it wasn't a lateral. It was a forward pitch.
It was a forward pitch.
That was called incomplete.
Right.
I got you. I was looking away, if you can't tell.
Still yet, Lee, though, completing more than 50% of his passes tonight, 9 of 15 for 147 yards.
Well, his favorite target is split out wide right on 2nd down and 10, moving right to left. The McKinney Lions hand off Butler up the middle, a big hole to the 30. Down to the 28-yard line, 2 yards shy of a 1st down. Sam Kamani makes the stop. Let's try and check down with John Leidy again. We tried a moment ago. As I think John now takes his headphones off and he's talking to someone down on the sideline, so he can't hear me right now, obviously.
Butler closing in on 100 yards. It'll be the first time this season a McKinney line has rushed for 100 yards.
3rd down and 2. Butler up the middle to the 20. Escapes out of a tackle to the 15, to the 10, and wrestled down at the 6-yard line. A great run by Butler, just getting through traffic. Josh Matthews makes the stop for McKinney North, and that'll be another 1st down for McKinney here.
That's what I have called a pinball run. Just bounced off 4 or 5 guys. Everybody trying to arm tackle him. No one got good contact and wrapped up until the end. That was a great job to get down inside the 10.
They'll give him the 7-yard line, actually, on the play. 9:38 left to go. 3 receivers near side. Handoff Butler at the line of scrimmage is tackled by a host of McKinney North Bulldogs, including Sam Kamani, who's having a heck of a night tonight. And I'm going to continue to try to go down to John Leidy. I try and I try and I try and I try, and I think now he's over by himself, and he has his headphones on now, so I'll try to talk to John down there. John, you're at the 10-yard line. How about them Bulldogs, huh?
Guys, I say thank you for coming back down to me. Actually, Vince Stanko is going to come in at quarterback on next possession. Back up to y'all.
All right. Hey, some inside information. Hey, that's why he has the headphones off. There's Lee throwing in the end zone, and it's a great play, almost intercepted by McKinney North. I don't know if that – I can't – is that Mike Scott down there? But he was trying to hit his slot receiver, Ryan Hart, and obviously it's incomplete.
We know the good thing for the Bulldogs was some big showdowns looming. Boyd coming up, also Little Elm and/or Lake Dallas coming up. You've given coaches some very interesting things to think about if you're Sean Pratt. Do you go with Stanko, the thrower? Do you prepare for that, or do you prepare for Williams, the slashing runner?
3rd down and 7 for McKinney. Lee scrambles out to the left, throws in the end zone, and it is in and out of the hands of Lipka and incomplete. It'll be 4th down. It would have been a touchdown if he could have hung on, but Mike Scott, give him credit, he had good coverage. And, yeah, you're talking about McKinney North and their offense. What you essentially make a team do is prepare for 2 different teams. You prepare for McKinney North with Stanko, who's going to fire the ball down to Douglas.
And that's becoming a trend in college football. You've seen Florida won a national championship a year ago. LSU doing that right now with Matt Flynn and Ryan Perlew. And I think the Dogs have that opportunity to have two personalities on offense.
Well, they've showed tonight that they can rely on Chris Williams, that's for sure. 4th down and 7. Brett Helt into the backfield for McKinney. It is 4th and goal from the 7. Lee rolls out left, pitches it to Helt. He's at the 5. Helt dives in the end zone. It's touchdown time in Texas for the McKinney Lions.
Well, that time, Zach Lee, he played the option perfectly. Kept the ball long enough for the corner-contained man to commit to him when he did. In fact, he got, as soon as contact was made, Zach Lee made a perfect pitch. It was all over at that point.
A 7-yard touchdown run. Brett Helt will get credit for it, but you're right. Zach Lee made it happen. Gonzalez on for the extra point. It's up, and it is good. 41-21. McKinney North in the lead with 8:43 left to go in the contest. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. 8:43 left to go in this football game. C.J. Gonzalez will boot this kickoff. It's going to be taken up the hash. And a nice return back is Marquise Millard Sims to the 43-yard line, and McKinney North will take over shop there, moving left to right. Jay, how about an American Bank of Texas scoring drive recap?
11 plays, 67 yards, 3 minutes and 17 seconds off the clock. And, of course, Brent Hill with a 7-yard touchdown run. Real quick, some scores from around the area. Wichita Falls, Ryder 34, Denton Geyer 3, Rockwall Heath 16, Forney 7, and Sherman all over Denton 42-0.
Hey, if you got some kids injured and you want to get well, go play Denton. That'll make your team better, right? No offense, Denton. 41-21. Stanko into the game is going to hand off Fruit Cole, and Fruit Cole gains about 4 yards, possibly 5, up to the 49-yard line.
It's a good thing to see some good things happening for the Bearcats. They've had a tough 2 or 3 weeks. They lost Matt Romey, their starting quarterback, to an injury, and took it on the chin in a big way to Wichita Falls Ryder a week ago. And in between that, their head coach,
that was at the Voodoo Palace, right?
Drew Young, had a heart attack.
Yeah.
And tell you what, glad he's okay. He's actually back on the field coaching now.
Stanko and shotgun on 2nd down and 4 after the 6-yard run by Fruit Cole. And Cole's going to get the hand again, and he runs left guard this time, dancing his way through. Now pops through for a first down to the 43-yard line. I thought for a moment, Fruit, you're a big kid, just run forward. But he does get through. Dewan Swinney makes the stop for McKinney.
Pretty interesting in the Dallas Morning News today, story talking about how many backup quarterbacks are playing key roles in their teams right now, advancing and having their run, because a number of very fine athletes around the North Texas area have been injured, including Highland Park's starting quarterback last week, broken collarbone.
A lot of new players into the game for McKinney North, including Chris Davis, split out wide right. And a handoff, Fruit Cole up the middle, burst through for another time, up to the 20, down to the 18-yard line. Another first down for Fruit Cole and McKinney North.
That's 20 first downs tonight for McKinney North as they continue to move the football. And Fruit Cole racking up the yardage as well. That run going all the way down to the 28-yard line, a pickup of 16. He is closing in on 100 yards right now, setting with 88 on the night.
Dominique Holmes, Haithcock's on the stop for McKinney. It'll be 1st and 10 for McKinney North, moving left to right from the 28-yard line. Cole in the backfield with Stanko. 2 receivers to the near side. Cole goes in motion, and he gets the hand up the middle. A giant hole to the 20, down to the 16-yard line, rather. And almost another first down, and now they'll move the chains. It is a first down, and this is Damon Pitts and Fruit Cole just taking over this football game. It's the offensive line, I should say.
It's gravy time. The Lions are tired. The Lions are disillusioned right now.
2nd week in a row.
And the big hogs up front, they're chewing it up right now.
Yeah, the Lions were beaten down last week by the Boyd Broncos. And here's Stanko and shotgun, first down, handoff. Fruit Cole dances, and now is tackled by a number of gold helmets. And It'll be good if he got back to the line of scrimmage. Cameron Peterson gets credit for the tackle, and they will give him forward progress to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd down and 10 with 6:16 left to go. McKinney North on top, 41-21.
You know, Monty, I want to go back to the point we were making earlier. Stanko not getting to play until right now. You go, what's up? Is there a disciplinary issue, an injury, something like that? No. Sean Pratt just simply showing coaches in 9-4A, you got a lot to worry about when you look at our game film.
This was kind of a statement for the McKinney North offense tonight. 2nd down and 10. And they're going to...
Yep, I knew the left guard flinched his backside just a little bit, and the official saw it through the flag.
So it'll be 2nd down and 15 with 5:50 left to go. McKinney North on top of their arch rival, McKinney High, 41-21. And my, how this program has come along in the past, 2002, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Well, it's interesting you bring that up because I wanted to make the point that you were talking about the last time McKinney had a losing record in a decade, 1950. But that's really apples and oranges because at that time, everyone in the McKinney city limits went to McKinney High School. Right now, the athletes diluted between Boyd, North, and McKinney High School. What if you had all of these athletes on one team?
Unbelievable. It'd be like Allen with all of their players. Here's a handoff, Fruit Cole up the middle over right guard, and he's getting tackled at the 20-yard line, a gain of maybe 1. Jamario Mack makes a stop for McKinney. And you're right. I mean, just dream about David Douglas and Lipka on the same side. And
Lee to Douglas.
Zach Lee. And
Lee to Fuller.
And how many, my goodness, Darren Alves, where would he play on this offense? You know he'd play.
All over the place. He'd be slot, backfield, little slash quarterback.
But now we're back from La La Land, and these teams are facing each other. And it's 3rd down and 14 as Fruit Cole will move from left to right in the backfield. Stanko wants to throw, has his man, Allen, or Davis rather, and is caught. And he'll make his way inside the 15 to the 14. I thought for a moment the ball might have been on the turf.
Well, it was, but the official quickly saying he was down before the ball came loose.
And Daniel Brash was right there. And if anybody was going to come up with it, it was going to be Daniel Brash.
You know, talk about La La Land. My wife tells me I live there a lot of the time. But, I think your wife probably tells you the same thing.
Yeah, I hear that. I hear
Jay,
that.
his wife doesn't even speak to him. So
that is true.
You might have me and him reversed. 4th down for McKinney North.
We're going to be in big trouble.
They're going to go for it here. Why not? And did someone call a timeout? And I believe McKinney called a timeout. 4:09 left to go in this football game. All McKinney North. 41-21. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. 4th down on the reverse handoff, coming near side and trying to turn that corner, and he can't get out of bounds. And that was Josh Allen on the carry, and the ball will turn over on downs to McKinney. It was a nice play by Jared Johnson to make the ball carrier Allen turn to the outside and go out of bounds.
Well, we've seen some new faces into the ball game for the Dogs, and rightfully so with a 41-21 lead, 4:03 to go in the game. Zach Lee coming back out, I believe, and if he is, I believe that's him out there. It is. You might see the Lions begin to try to work on their own offense to get ready for the next few weeks of competition, and wouldn't be surprised to see Lee sling some. Remember, he's got a 99-yard TD pass this season.
Here's Lee, and they're going to hand off, and up the middle, nothing doing there. Colton Floyd makes a stop. Hey guys, we've got to start our bidding for our Torchmark Corporation Star of the Game, and I don't think we have to think about it too long and hard on that one. As John Leidy, I believe, has something for us. We'll check down with him right after this play. It'll be 2nd down and 7. And they're going to hand off to Robinson, running right tackle, cuts it up inside, has a 1st down, and really hit hard from behind by Spencer Rogers. And that'll be a 1st down. John Leidy, go ahead and talk to us. I know you got something for us down there. What do you got?
I actually found out what the QB situation is. After the rough game last week against the Colony, Coach Pratt just kind of made a decision about halfway through this week. Let's just try out a new quarterback and see how we do this week. Back up to y'all.
John, do you really believe that?
Yeah, I think he does because I'm sitting here looking at John, and John's got the dog Crocs on tonight.
Here's Zach Lee firing it down the middle, and it's intercepted by Marquise Millard Sims at the 43-yard line.
The old tip drill right there. Ball was high from Zach Lee. Receiver got a finger on it, tipped the ball up in the air. It was an easy pick.
And now with 3:07 left to go in the game, it's just it's money time for McKinney North.
See, if I'd known John was going to be as one-sided as he is wearing the McKinney North Crocs in that bright orange color, I'd have worn my orange tonight. I didn't want to appear to be taking sides tonight.
Yeah, but yours...
mine would be a little bit deeper
orange,
shade.
Yeah, your orange stands for a naughtier color if you're from the other side of the Red River, I guess. Well, here's 1st and 10 for McKinney North. Stanko in shotgun. And he's going to hand off Damon Pitts up the middle, and a nice play up the middle by McKinney. And that's Ryan Hughes, linebacker, making the stop. We mentioned we got to make our Torchmark Player of the Game decision.
Let's see.
And let's see. Quarterback, maybe. Quarterback. Chris Williams. How about that?
You took longer than I would have. KW.
2nd down and 10. And Pitts in the backfield, rotating with Fruit Cole. Big hole over the left side up to the 33-yard line. Has a 1st down inside the 30 to the 29, and it's just icing on the cake here from McKinney North.
If I'm Joe Castillo, not only am I looking at the opportunity to develop perhaps a 2-quarterback system at times in the rest of district play, I might devise a few plays where Chris Williams and Stanko are on the field at the same time.
Yeah, that's we'll put him in the slot or something. Wow. He's very fast. 1st down and 10 for McKinney North here on that 1st down run by Damon Pitts and the offensive line there. Handoff to Pitts once again. Another big hole up the left side. 20. Down to the 18-yard line. Another 1st down and now Damon Pitts is just racking up the yards.
Well, that's 23 first downs tonight for McKinney North. And, by the way, Pitts going over the 100-yard mark on the carry before. As that carry right there, there are 3 players for McKinney North rushing over 100 yards tonight. Cole with 101. Of course, Williams with 109. And with that carry right there, 115 yards for Pitts.
1st down and 10 for Stanko and company for McKinney North. And now Pitts will move right behind. Oh, a bad snap. Is this going to be Romo? Nope, Stanko just falls on it at the 32-yard line. A big loss by McKinney North. And the smart thing to do, you think maybe a kid like that sees Romo last week and tries to do it himself, but Stanko pretty smart there. He just falls on it. Jamario Mack will get credit for I guess he'll get credit for the sack.
Well, what you saw there was the Bill Parcells version of Tony Romo.
Well, we mentioned that McKinney North will move to 21-9 all-time at Ron Poe Stadium when they play here.
Most important, they're going to be 5-0 and 2-0 in district play.
That's right. McKinney will move to 160-70 here at Ron Poe Stadium. Handoff up the middle to Damon Pitts, and this time McKinney does a pretty good job of containing him to the 30-yard line. Ryan Hughes, a big night for McKinney, but not enough. As we're under a minute now, 41-21, McKinney North is wrapping this one up.
What a convincing win for Sean Pratt and company. They have served notice. The scrimmage against Sherman, an anomaly. They're going to make a run for a District 9 4A title.
And for the first time in their history, they will be 2 games above 500. Here's a handoff to Pitts on perhaps the last play of the game. Bounces out right and is down at the 22-yard line. We're under 10 seconds now. McKinney North, you have won the Crosstown Showdown for the 3rd time in 4 tries. Congratulations. 41-21. McKinney takes it on the chin tonight by their arch rival and their younger brother, McKinney North. And it was a good game for,
the middle 2 quarters.
Yeah, at halftime we thought maybe McKinney will come out and.
They came out. They had the stop they needed defensively. They just couldn't get it going. And really, This game boiled down to slow starts offensively in the first half and the second half early on, and an inability to solve either the field position dilemma or the running game dilemma that McKinney North presented them. The Lions have plenty to build on offensively. They've got some work to do in other areas.
Well, we're going to take a quick timeout, and we'll allow John Leidy some time to try to corral Chris Williams, our Torchmark Corporation star of the game. And he'll also have a chance to talk to head coach Sean Pratt, who is now 30-28 overall at McKinney North. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK. Welcome back to the postgame show, where McKinney North can sing that song all they want. 41-21 over the arch rival McKinney High. And the Lions will make their way into their clubhouse. And, you know, some of those guys have never even been in the visiting clubhouse over there. They've always, you know, been on the home side. But right now it's McKinney North who's getting a talking to from Sean Pratt, and probably a congratulatory talking to down there at the 45-yard line. A tremendous victory by McKinney North, dominating as they have been all year. Now, this is a team that lost a ton of seniors last year, and everyone said that this team would not be as strong as they were last year. And who knows if they are or not, but their record indicates they are. The numbers they're putting up indicates they are. At some point, you're going to have to say, hey, this team is as good as they were last year.
Well, you're halfway through the season, and they don't have a mark in the L column yet.
And now they're getting done with their post-game rituals. John Leidy is down right there on the sideline, or right there on the 50-yard line. He'll try to corral Sean Pratt here in just a moment. He's standing right behind him. And we're anxiously awaiting what John Leidy has to say to Coach Sean Pratt, and he'll congratulate him for his 30th win in school history and third victory over arch rival McKinney. And here's John Leidy down on the sidelines.
First off, Coach, we have to say congratulations on win number 30 in your program history. Also, third consecutive victory over McKinney High School in the Crosstown Showdown. But the speak after the game, the comment after the game there, focusing in your team on each and every opponent week by week, saying that each opponent could beat you or you can beat them. Can you explain that?
Well, I believe in this district race right here, it's going to be like that, and I believe that's what I told them. I told them that last week. There's nobody left on our schedule that can't beat us, and there's nobody left on our schedule we can't beat it. You know, if we'll take care of ourselves and get better, improve every week, keep doing, you know, playing as hard as we're playing. I thought our kids played real hard tonight, and my hat's off to McKinney High School. Their kids played very hard, and they're doing a great job over there.
I know another question a lot of people have is the quarterback situation. We have Vince Stenko one week and Chris Williams the next week. Can you fill us in on it a little bit of that?
Well, and you know, they've both played in just about every game, and we've kind of gone with a hot hand. I think Chris had a pretty hot, and Vince played well last week too. But we just this week we decided to go with Chris, and you know, I'm not gonna you know, make any black box statements about who's gonna play and who's not gonna play at this point. I thought Chris did a great job tonight, though, and I think our offense was the most consistent that it's been all year. Fewest mistakes, penalties, etc.
I do have to commend you on that. There was a lot less penalties this week than what we've seen in the past. Great job this week, and good luck next week.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
All right, very good, John Leidy down on the sidelines. A very happy and elated Sean Pratt. You know, Sean did coach at McKinney for 7 years under Ron Poe. So, you know, Sean Pratt very familiar with those gold helmets over there. But, you know, he's a part of the blue and orange now, and very proud to, you know, Sean Pratt is as proud as anyone of this team, maybe more so than last year's team, than anyone I've seen. I know he had some hard times. He lost. He was real close to some of those seniors from last year. Eric Herbal, obviously a good kid, but there are more good kids on this team. I had a chance to interview David Douglas early in the week, and David was just like Eric Herbal, a humble kid, and I think John Leidy has something for us once again. Here we go, John.
I'm down here with number 9, the quarterback for the McKinney North Bulldogs tonight, Chris Williams. You've been named the Torchmark Player of the Game. Congratulations, first off. And we also have a 3- or 4-headed monster, depending on which way you look at it, with McKinney North, with Chris Williams leading the way, being speed tonight. You had a great run right there at the end, and you put it into third gear right there that we've never seen before. Can you run us through that drive?
Well, I got a great block from Aaron Matthews, and he led the way, and it was just on from then.
And what about that offensive line tonight? Can you explain a little bit about that with the running game?
They did fabulous tonight. I couldn't ask for a better job from them. They did great.
Thank you. You have a great evening. We'll see you next week. I'm down here with the second part of our 3-headed monster, Fruit Cole. He is thunder. He was powering through the line tonight. Can you explain to us that first half you had? Well, I have it written down here. Sorry about that. I have Fruit Cole with over 100 yards rushing tonight. How about that?
Man, well, I can't do it at the line. You know, the line, they just a beautiful job tonight. Holes are just wide open all night, and that's how I got it. I wouldn't be able to get it without them.
Thank you, and you have a great evening. See you next week. I'm down here with the third part, Damian Pitts. He's a mixture of thunder and lightning. He's got the power, but he's not a big man like Fruit Cole in the thundering part. He had 115 yards rushing tonight. How did that feel?
Feels good.
Feels good. Any other comments?
The O-line was great tonight.
Okay, thank you. You have a great evening. See you next week. I'm down here with
he runs
one
faster
of the
than he
of
talks.
The offensive line, number 59, Houston Beasley, helping anchor that line.
I'm doing my best out there. We got just good offensive line all around, a lot of experience, and kids in experience are picking it up, and we're just we're doing real well.
You are a senior year, that's correct?
Yes, sir.
And along with your other senior playmates out there, Colton Duncan and Taylor Dalfit, y'all are anchoring in a strong line this year, and it's actually, surprisingly, McKinney North has been more of a running team recently compared to the passing team that they've been in the past, and you're one of the key elements.
I don't know if I'm necessarily a key element, but, it's something we've developed a new mentality. We've got some new formations. It's just we're pounding them, getting hats on hats, just playing real physical football.
Well, I do have to say that it does start at the offensive line with the rushing game. Congratulations. You have a great evening.
Yeah, that comes from a former offensive lineman.
Number 19, cornerback for the McKinney North Bulldogs, anchoring shutting down the passing game for the McKinney Lions tonight. Can you explain to us a little bit about that?
Man, I got a couple bad calls, but other than that, man, it's pretty good.
Spoken like a true DB.
I don't know if they were bad calls. They just didn't quite go your way. I know you want to call them bad, but we're going to work on that next week. You have a great evening. And I have one word for Monty up there and Jay and everybody else. These are not McKinney North Crocs. These are UT Crocs. Hook 'em, baby. Hook 'em.
Oh, no.
Oh, you scored points with Lynn.
We may have to bring that Boomer Sooner song back for the next break. Oh, I tell you what. Good job down there, John Lowdy, as always. And, our Torchmark, we will have to say our Torchmark player of the game tonight was Chris Williams, the quarterback for McKinney North. And once again down there, our Scholar Athlete of the Week, Matt Lipka from McKinney High, the wide receiver for McKinney High, who excels not only on the field but in the classroom as well. The Tutoring Club Scholar Athlete of the Week. And, one of those guys that John just interviewed, Houston Beasley, was our Scholar Athlete of the Week in week 2 or 3. He scored over 1,300 on his SATs. Very impressive by Mr.
What did you score, Monty?
We took ACTs.
So did I. So
I took them both. I got to say one thing about Houston Beasley. I think he hit the nail on the head. And this is what the Bulldogs have right now. It's what the Lions are struggling to build. He talked about their mentality. And what the Lions right now are struggling to get back that winning groove. They had it in the past. They had a great program here. They were one of the premier programs in North Texas for many, many years. And over the last decade or so, the Lions have kind of started to slide downward and fall on hard times as the different schools have been opened up. Bobby Ray's challenge is to change the culture at McKinney High School back to one where they believe they can win, where they're rallying to the football on the defensive side, where they believe they're going to make the plays, they're going to seal the game on the offensive side. Right now, Sean Pratt, he's got the Bulldogs right where they want to be. You talked about not a lot expected out of the Bulldogs this year, but that's where mentality means everything. You come into the season and you refuse to lose.
Yeah, that's a good point. And, what's great about if you're an MISD football fan, let's just take away McKinney North, McKinney Boyd. Hey, 2 of the McKinney ISD schools are currently tied for first place in the district. And no, it's not McKinney, but it's McKinney Boyd who's tied with McKinney North. And we're still awaiting a final score from Lake Dallas and Little Elm to see who's tied with McKinney Boyd and McKinney North in first place in District 9 4A. And, I talked to Sean Pratt after, I started to bring this up a moment ago, talking to Sean Pratt in the final coaches show we did last year after the Highland Park game. Asked him about this season. He had lost Eric Herbal. He was really close to some of those kids, and he was really just in a sour mood because he missed those kids, and he knew that they were going to have a struggle this year. And boy, if 5-0 is a struggle, my goodness, they look pretty good.
Well, they're confident and they believe in themselves. They believe in their coach, and if the Dogs can avoid the trap game next week against Centennial, boy, what a showdown in 2 weeks.
Wow. Yep, this will be a fun district race to watch. We've got highlights. We've got stats and everything ready to go. We're going to take a quick timeout and be back after this 41-21 McKinney North thrashing of their crosstown rival, McKinney. Back in a moment on 97.5 KLAK.